Inside, there's a commotion. A black-clothed figure leaps stealthily through the air, crossing the room via the lights above. One of the guards, "Hey, up there!" The figure halts, stopping on the lights by balancing on the little metal bars above. The figure stands tall and looks down at the ground. "Hey, up there!" The figure chuckles before jumping down from his spot on the ceiling. Well, aren't you pleased with yourself? Good. Now get running. This is our only chance. Stay calm. You can get away now. We'll retrieve the briefcase on our end. Guards. Suspects. Not. Confirmed. Hold. Your. Positions. What was that? Don't worry about us. Just concentrate on getting away. The figure gives a nod to himself before turning to another hallway and running off deeper into the casino. Our hero jumps across the lights stylishly. As the figure reaches the other hallway, a few police officers block the exit and stop the figure in his tracks. I bet Skull wouldn't pull it off that smoothly. This happens because you have no sense for aesthetics. Nobody asked you. Inari, the main police officer, who was a lot bigger in size, stepped forward and put a hand on the figure's shoulder, pushing the figure back. Police officer, where do you think you're going? Agent, there he is he. The police officers turned to look at where the agent was, and the figure turned and started running in the opposite direction. Once the officers' attention were diverted. Just run, get out of there. The figure nods to himself and continues running down the hallway, the sounds of loud footsteps following after him. Two agents are guarding the way out. The agents transform into masked creatures. As the figure approaches the creatures guarding the way out, he gets into a combat stance, getting himself ready to fight. Take them down, Joker. Joker leaps through the air, before landing directly on top of the enemy, grabbing its mask and ripping it clean off. The enemy's body bubbles up and explodes into a mass of red and black goo. It then turns into whatever the hell this monstrosity is. Joker dispatches the creature with the help of the shadowed figure behind him. Once the figure and the shadowed figure had killed the creatures, the figure looks at the shadowed figure for a moment before turning back around and making a run for it before any more monsters came their way. Joker dodges the attack with a sick backflip and jumps up to a higher floor. The shadowed figure follows after Joker and runs after him, trying to keep up with his pace. Agent, where did he go? Agent 2, I can't confirm the intruder's location. Joker slowed down a bit, beginning to pant a bit and gasp for air. Joker quickly takes cover behind a nearby box. From there, he can leap from object to object to conceal his presence. Joker see the big glass colorful window. Joker hops the railing and runs across it to the other side of the room. Joker, see Ed jump out of the window. What a show off. You're so reckless, you know that? Joker lands safely, but not alone. The cop tackle him to the ground and put him in handcuffs. Guess the drug was too strong. Officer 1, wake him up. One of the officers splashes him with a bucket of water. As soon as the water had hit Joker, he quickly opened his eyes and began to cough out the water that had gotten into his mouth. Joker, NNGH, cough. Joker continues to glare at the officer in front of him, while also trying to steady his breathing, as the officer had just hit him in the stomach. Officer 1, come on, cooperate, or what? You want another shot? Huh? What about the camera? Are you thinking it can be used as video evidence? Joker stops glaring for a moment before looking elsewhere, trying to ignore the officer in front of him, but to no avail. He can still feel the officer's gaze on him. A cop undoes the cuffs. As the cuffs were being unlatched, Joker rubs his wrists to ease the pain that they were in from being bound together tightly for who knows how long. The cold metal had also made his wrists red. "I hear your name." Joker just looks at the officer blankly, giving them no answer to that question. "I see. I need your hand to sign this, but..." Protagonist's leg, and in retaliation, the cop stomps on the. As soon as the cop's foot stomps on his leg, Joker winces in a bit of pain and looks at the officer, still looking at them with a glare, not saying a word. "I don't care if you end up losing a leg. Don't expect to walk out of here in one piece. We're going to make you understand. One must take full responsibility for their actions." Joker still doesn't answer the officer. The only sound coming from him is him wincing in a bit of pain from the officer constantly digging and stomping the heel of his foot into his leg. He signed his name Izuku Midoriya. As the officer takes a quick glance at the name that Joker had written down, he shoves the pen and papers into one of the other officers and walks up to Joker, grabbing him by the shoulder and starts leading him away. Outside, a figure approaches. The officer who was currently leading Joker and holding him by the shoulder stops as they see the figure approach them. "Police officers, excuse me, but this area's off I'm Niijima from the public prosecutor's office. Police officers? The prosecutor's office? What business do you have here? Niijima, just let me through. It's urgent. There's something I need to confirm with the suspect Niijima-san. I believe this case is no longer in your jurisdiction. Besides, as the two officers talk amongst themselves about the prosecutor that approached them, Joker silently looks over at Niijima, while they talked and listened in on their conversation. Inside the interrogation room, the officer had sat Joker down in a chair, handcuffing his wrists to the table before walking outside the room and shutting the door, leaving Joker alone in the room with Niijima. See, I didn't expect it'd be you. Joker just looks at Niijima silently as they spoke, keeping a neutral expression on his face, almost making it impossible to tell if something was going on inside of his head. You'll be answering my questions this time. Can you hear me? It seems you've been through a lot. Almost anything can happen here, Anne. I can't stop them. That's why I need you to answer me honestly. I don't have much time either. Oh, screw off with this transparent good cop bad cop BS. Don't tell him a damn thing. What was your objective? Why did you cause such a major incident? I didn't think it was a prank from the get-go. But I couldn't assemble a case for prosecution. It's because I couldn't figure out the method behind it. True, there's no way I could be convinced of such a world just by reading the reports. It seems you're coherent. When and where did you find out about that world? How is it even possible to steal another's heart? Now tell me your account of everything, start from the very beginning. As Niijima continues on with the questions, Joker just continues to look at them silently, as if he was contemplating if he should tell Niijima or not. After a few seconds of thinking, he finally opened his mouth. Izuku, why should I give you the answers you want? Because if you don't, you will go to prison. Prologue. Mr. Hamill goes to Tokyo. The speaker, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for riding with us today. We will be arriving in Shibuya shortly. This is the last stop for this line. Please transfer here for all subway lines. The doors to your left will open. As the speakers play the announcement, many people on the train began getting situated to get ready to get off of the train. Flashback: a drunk man is accosting a woman who's screaming for help. Someone intervenes. The man drunkenly slips and falls, stares at his hands while the man recovers. The man, damn brat, I'll sue. And Izuku is arrested. Back in the present, we overhear a conversation. Random girl, to a person though? That's gotta be a joke. You really love all that occult stuff, don't you? As the two girls' conversation continues, a train enters the station where the girls are standing, and people begin to exit and enter the train. Later, Izuku is walking through Shibuya, staring at his phone for guidance. As he walks through, he continues to stare at his phone before he stops walking and looks around a bit, trying to figure out the directions that his phone was telling him to go in. A mysterious icon appears. Izuku taps it repeatedly. Everyone around him comes to a halt. The flow of time has completely stopped. Beyond the crowd, a blue flame emerges. It erupts into a winged figure. Its wicked smile transforms into a yellow-eyed version of Izuku's own face. As the strange creature erupts from out of the flames, he gasps and takes a few steps back, being taken aback by the fact that not only his surroundings had just completely stopped moving, but also that a creature had just appeared out of flames in front of him. And just like that, time has begun to move again. As time had begun to move again, people resumed what they were doing and continued on walking, not noticing the flames or creature that had appeared a moment ago in front of Izuku. Izuku does the only sensible thing and drags the app straight into the garbage can. As soon as he does that, the screen goes black, and his phone completely shuts down. Once he realizes that his phone had completely shut down, he taps the screen multiple times trying to turn it back on. And so we arrive in Yonjinjaya. As he walks through the train station, he looks around a bit, admiring the scenery for a moment before he pulls his phone out of his pocket and looks at the time before pocketing it again as he exits Yonjinjaya train station and begins to walk down the town. He walked to the cafe. Once he arrived at the cafe, he steps up to the door and peers inside, looking around for a moment before he slowly opens the door and walks inside, stepping foot into LeBlanc. The manager notices Izuku. As he notices the manager looking at him, he just awkwardly stands in the doorway, not knowing what to say. The manager continues to glance at him in a somewhat questioning manner, as if silently asking who he was and why he was there before asking anyway. Sujiro? Oh, right, they did say that was today. He then gestures for Izuku to come over and sit down near the counter. Sujiro, so, you're Izuku. As he goes over to sit at the counter, he glances over at the manager before nodding his head to say yes to his question. Hella, I'm Sujiro Sakura. You'll be in my custody over the next year. I was wondering what kind of unruly kid would show up. But you're the one, huh? Have you been told? A customer of mine and your parents know each other. And, well, not that that matters. Follow me. As the manager talks to him, Izuku just nods and listens silently to everything he says, not really saying much to any of it. Once the manager had finished talking, he stands up from the stool and follows him over to the stairs that led upstairs. Sujiro, this is your room. I'll at least give you sheets for your bed. You look like you want to say something. Izuku just nods silently for a moment in acknowledgement of getting a bed before he looks over at the manager and talks for the first time, in a soft voice, and with a bit of nervousness in it. Izuku, I just wanted to ask, why did I have to stay here? It's on you to clean up the rest. I'll be leaving after I lock up each day. You'll be alone at night, but don't do anything stupid. I'll throw you out if you cause any trouble. Now then, I got the gist of your situation. You protected some woman from a man forcing himself on her. He got injured, then sued you, right? That's what you get for sticking your nose in a matter between two adults. You did injure him, yeah? And now that you've got a criminal record, you were expelled from your high school. The courts ordered you to transfer and move out here, which your parents also approved. As the manager spoke about Izuku and his situation, he listened silently, his eyes widening a bit as he was reminded of the incident that had started all this. Once the manager finished speaking, Izuku looked down at the ground before speaking in a soft voice that was laced with regret and shame. Izuku, yes, that's exactly what happened. In other words, they got rid of you for being a pain in the ass. As he heard the manager's words, he winced slightly, being reminded of the fact that he was a pain for people, and the fact that the school had gotten rid of him because of that stung a lot for Izuku, even if he never wanted to admit it out loud to anyone, not even himself. It's best you not talk about anything unnecessary. I am in the restaurant business, you know. Behave yourself for the year. If nothing happens, your probation will be lifted. He just nods silently, letting the manager's words sink in. After a moment, he looks back up at him and speaks in a soft and low voice, trying to sound as polite as possible. Izuku, I understand. Thank you. Shujin Academy, the school you'll be attending. We'll introduce ourselves properly to the staff. There's rarely a place that'll accept someone like you. You know, what a waste of my Sunday. Izuku, man, this guy sucks. Your luggage arrived earlier. I left them over there. As Izuku looks over to where the manager had mentioned, he spots all the bags that had contained his belongings, which he hadn't noticed till now. Seeing how focused he was on the conversation he had been having with Sujiro, Izuku, I'll be living here starting today. I should check out what's in here. Despite the manager's words, he begins going through the boxes and pulling some of his belongings out of them, mostly being all his clothes that he had packed before leaving. The only other thing he was really interested in was a small little framed picture that he took out of the box as he sat it down on one of the desks near the bed. Izuku, it's full of clothes and daily necessities. I'll change into more comfortable clothes for now. As Izuku finishes taking his clothes out of the boxes, he grabs a change of clothes and goes over to the bed, putting them on in a rather quiet and swift manner. As soon as he finishes changing, he goes back over to sit on the bed, looking at the framed picture that he had set down on the desk. Izuku, it's late. It seems like I've been cleaning for a while. Izuku then looks over at the clock nearby, realizing that it was getting late before laying down on the bed, laying under the covers. Despite it being late, he didn't feel very tired, most likely due to the fact of how many thoughts were running through his head. Sujiro, what the heck? I heard you making all sorts of noise up here, but I didn't think you were cleaning. Actually, the place doesn't look too bad, though it's only natural you'd want to keep your room tidy. Why don't you go to bed for tonight? You don't have anything better to be doing, right? I'm going to close up shop and get out of here myself. I won't be the one looking after you if you get sick from staying up too late. You got that? As Izuku heard the manager's words, he nods silently before he spoke in a soft and quiet voice. Izuku, I'll go to bed now. I don't mind. You don't have to worry about me staying up late. Izuku wakes up in an unfamiliar location. As Izuku slowly began to wake up, he rubs his eyes lightly before he looks around, trying to get his bearings on his surroundings. That's when it suddenly hit him that he was in a completely unfamiliar and strange-looking place. His eyes widening as he quickly sat up after realizing this, the sudden realization jolting him awake. The you in reality is currently fast asleep. You are only experiencing this as a dream. You're in the presence of our master. Stand up straight. As he heard the mysterious voices, he glanced around, trying to figure just where these voices were coming from. his eyes darting around the strange world he had just woken up in. After a moment of frantically looking for whoever the voices belonged to, he slowly moved to get up on his feet again, and turned around to find whomever was talking to him. It was twins girls. As he saw the two mysterious girls staring at him, he was taken aback a bit by the fact that these two little girls he had never seen before were the source of the voices he just heard moments before. Realizing this, he slowly looked between the two of them and spoke in a bit of a shaky voice as his eyes darted between the one that spoke to him the first time and the second one as he waited in anticipation for an explanation. Izuku, who are you two? Where am I? Welcome. I am delighted to make your acquaintance. This place exists between dream and reality, mind and matter. It is a room that only those who are bound by a contract may enter. I am Igor, the master of this place. Remember it well. I summoned you to speak of important matters. It involves your life as well. As Izuku listened to what the strange man, now named Igor, was saying, the look of confusion slowly began to appear on his face as he heard what this man had said. Everything that he was saying was going completely over Izuku's head at the moment, his brain processing the information being given to him just slightly slower than usual due to having just woken up not that long ago. After a moment, he slowly spoke in a confused voice, trying to get a better understanding of what was happening and why he was there. Izuku, important matters? The state of this room reflects the state of your own heart. To think a prison would appear as such, you truly are a prisoner of fate. In the near future, there is no mistake that ruin awaits you. As he heard Igor's words, a feeling of despair began to slowly rise in Izuku as he felt his blood run cold. Ruin. That one word seemed to be echoing in Izuku's mind, sending a wave of dread through Izuku's entire being. After a moment, he slowly spoke again, his voice shaky as he spoke in a quiet voice, his gaze going to the ground. Izuku, ruin? I speak of the end to everything. However, there is a means to oppose such a fate. You must be rehabilitated toward freedom. That is your only means to avoid ruin. Do you have the resolve to challenge the distortion of the world? As he heard what Igor was saying about rehabilitation, Izuku was a bit confused. Despite that, there was a slight feeling of hope that was beginning to grow in him, though not nearly enough for it to overshadow the current dread and trepidation that had already settled into him. After a moment's pause, he began to speak again, his voice still quiet, but a bit more confident. This time, Izuku, why yes, I have the resolve. I want to challenge it. You didn't decline him? Very well, that is enough. Allow me to observe the path of your rehabilitation. Pardon me for not introducing the others. To your right is Caroline, to your left, Justine. They serve as wardens here. As he heard the names of the two girls, he slowly looked over to the one that Igor had said was Caroline on his right, his eyes briefly staying on her before going to the one on his left and looking at her for a moment as well, before bringing his attention back to Igor and continuing to pay close attention to what the old man was saying. I shall explain the roles of these two at another occasion. Now then, it seems the night is waning. It is almost time. Take your time to slowly come to understand this place. We will surely meet again, eventually. As Izuku listened, he nodded silently to signal he understood, but right before Igor began to stop talking, a bit of worry and panic began to set in for Izuku as he heard those last words. This place? He thought to himself, thinking of where exactly this place that he woke up in was. As panic slowly began to set in, Izuku spoke in a shaky voice, still looking at Igor. Izuku, wait a moment. This place, where exactly is it? He woke up. As Izuku slowly began to come back to consciousness, he quickly sat up and glanced around, looking around the small room rapidly as he took a few deep breaths, trying to calm himself down after that strange dream. Despite trying to calm himself, his mind was still racing as he slowly sat on the edge of the bed, replaying the dream he had in his mind, trying to make sense of it. Sujiro, looks like you're up. Well then, let's go introduce ourselves properly to the staff about your transfer. The school you're attending is in the Aoyama district. It'll cost you a bit to ride the train there, and the route transfers are a pain. I'll drive you there. But just for today, let's go. As he heard the manager's words, Izuku looked over at Sujiro and nodded silently in acknowledgement. Despite the strangeness of that dream still on his mind, he had enough sense in him to push those thoughts away for now and focus on the task at hand. He got up off the bed and grabbed his school bag before speaking to Sujiro in a soft voice. Izuku. All right, I'm ready. Spyro, sheesh. Men aren't usually allowed in my passenger seat. As he heard Sajiro's words, Izuku was a bit confused by what he had meant by that, but he didn't question it, instead opting to shrug his shoulders and just get into the passenger seat like Sajiro told him to. At the school, do me a favor and behave yourself. Alright, don't get me wrong, I don't care what happens to you, just don't cause me any trouble. As Sajiro spoke those words to him, he nodded silently, signaling that he understood and would behave himself. He had no intention of causing any sort of trouble after everything that had already happened for him. Even the thought of messing up just a small bit and possibly having that lead to him having to move somewhere again was more than enough to make his blood run cold. Principal, to reiterate, just so we're clear, you will immediately be expelled if you cause any problems. As he listened to the principal speak, Izuku nodded silently, not giving any other kind of acknowledgement to the man. In truth, he was a bit intimidated by the threat of expulsion if he caused any kind of trouble, and by the rather cold voice the principal was addressing him with, but he tried not to show that, not wanting to appear weak to the principal, or the other professors in the room, who were all staring at him silently. Principal, honestly, I hesitated on accepting someone like you, but there were some circumstances on our side. You might have done a variety of things in hiding in your hometown, but you will behave yourself here. If you are thrown out from our school, there will be no place for you to go. Keep that in mind. This is the teacher in charge of your class. As he continued to listen to the principal and the teacher in charge of his new class, his eyes darted between the two, trying to analyze the facial expressions of both, as neither seemed really welcoming to him at all. Despite their rather cold exterior they were showing him, he didn't have any complaints about the way they were treating him. If anything, he felt that they had every reason to act this way. He then nodded silently in response to what the principal said, silently showing that he understood the rules and conditions of being allowed to stay in this new school. Ms. Kawakami, I'm Sadao Kawakami. Be sure to read the school rules. Any violations will send you straight to the guidance office, and if by chance you cause any problems, I won't be able to protect you at all. That is your promise? Yes, Principal Kobayakawa. As Kawakami spoke, he kept his eyes on her while nodding silently to show that he was listening. When she finished speaking, and he heard the principal's name being mentioned, he looked over at the principal for a small moment before turning back to Ms. Kawakami. After a moment's pause of him thinking, he spoke in a soft voice, trying to sound polite as he spoke to her. Izuku, I promise to behave. Principal Kobayakawa, he is responsible for all his actions. As the principal spoke to Kawakami, Izuku looked between the two, and took note of the fact that the principal seemed to be completely washing his hands and not take any accountability if anything does happen. Despite taking this note, he didn't say anything, and just stayed silent, thinking it may be best to have as little contact as possible with the principal, especially considering how cold the man was towards him already. Kawakami, but really though, why me? There should have been better candidates. As he heard Kawakami's words, he looked over at her, a bit surprised by that statement. From what he could tell, it seemed as though she hadn't been expecting to be in charge of him before today, and was now just stuck with him as a student. In a way, he felt a slight pang of guilt for possibly causing her an unexpected headache, but he tried to ignore those thoughts for now, and just listen to the two while he waited to be dismissed. Principal, it was a sudden transfer, and your class was the only one that had an opening. As he heard the principal speak, he silently took note of the reason why Kawakami was assigned to him. A part of him felt a bit more guilty by the fact that she was basically forced into being his teacher, but he didn't voice these thoughts, opting instead to just listen as they continued to talk. Sajiro, if you're done explaining things, mind if we get going? I got a store to get back to. As he heard Sajiro speaking, Izuku looked over at him, nodding silently in response to his question, silently showing that he was fine with going back to LeBlanc now that everything was said and done. Principal Sakura-san, please keep a close eye on him. Don't let him cause any trouble outside. As he heard those words, Izuku bit his tongue silently to prevent himself from making any comments to the principal in return. However, that didn't stop him from feeling a bit ticked off at the principal by the implication that he was just a troublemaker that would immediately go out and cause problems, but he had to remind himself that he needed to stay on his best behavior here, especially now that he had been warned about getting expelled if he acted out before. Sajiro, well, I'll be sure to have a serious talk about the situation he's in. As he listened to Sajiro's words to the principal, Izuku looked over at him, silently taking note of the fact that Sajiro was saying that to the principal, and had to wonder just how long this serious talk he was going to have with him. He didn't get much time to ponder on it too much, though, as after a few moments of silence, he spoke in a soft voice, hoping to get going now. Miss Kawakami, come to the faculty office when you arrive at school tomorrow. I'll show you to your classroom. As he heard Kawakami's words, he nodded silently in acknowledgement and gave a small yes, ma'am in response, despite finding her reaction and mood towards this not very welcoming. He tried his best not to show that, keeping to the soft and polite voice that he had been keeping this whole time. Sujiro, they're treating you like some kinda nuisance. I guess that's what it means to have a criminal record. Turns out your past follows you wherever you go. By the way, if you get expelled now, I won't hesitate to kick you out. Got it? As he listened to Sujiro's words, he was a bit caught off guard by them. The man was right in that he was being treated like a nuisance, but the threat of being kicked out if he gets expelled seemed a bit extreme. But he didn't voice any of this, and nodded silently to his words, knowing he really had no choice on the matter. After a moment's pause of silence, he slowly spoke up to Sujiro. Izuku, yes sir, I understand. Sai school never changes, huh? Come on, we're going home. As he heard Sujiro's words, he nodded silently again, and followed him out of the building. As they walked out, he felt his mind race with so many different thoughts, but he knew he shouldn't let those thoughts get too out of hand, and instead focused on just following Sujiro for now. As they made their way back to LeBlanc, Sujiro, traffic's not moving at all. You're taking the train, starting tomorrow. So how was it? The school, I mean, think you can manage? You brought it on yourself though. Still, you were expelled once already. To think you'd re-enroll at a different one. It's not like anyone will be sympathetic with you if that's what it was like at school. People might say stuff about me in the future too. What a troublesome kid I've taken in. As he listened to everything Sujiro was saying, he tried to ignore the feelings of shame that were slowly building up now from having to listen to the man essentially scold him. However, he was a bit confused by the man's last comment about how people might say stuff about him if he was too much trouble. Despite that, he stayed silent, not wanting to speak and possibly say something to cause any more problems. At LeBlanc, Sujiro, damn, to think there'd be that much traffic. What a waste of time. As Izuku followed Sujiro into the cafe, he silently took note of how the man sounded and concluded that he was pretty annoyed of having to stick in traffic because they left as early as they did. He then spoke in his soft voice and looked at Sujiro, not looking into his eyes directly to try and hide his own shame and guilt. Izuku, why your annoyance is probably my fault, sir. Sujiro, talk about a gruesome accident. 80 people were involved. As Izuku listened to Sujiro's words, it honestly shocked him to hear about such a terrible accident happening. 80 people involved in an accident. That was truly terrifying to think about. He then spoke in a quiet and soft voice, keeping his eyes down as he spoke, not wanting to look at Sujiro so he didn't see his guilt on his face. Izuku, are really? 80 people? I'm about to leave right now. Don't worry, I'll be there in no time. I'll see you soon. Oh, but don't mess up my store. If something goes missing, I'll hand you right over to the cops. You got school tomorrow. You better head off to bed. Alright. As Izuku listened to Sujiro's instructions and words for before he left the store, he nodded silently to show that he understood and would obey the conditions. He then, realizing the man was just about to head out, spoke up in a soft and polite voice, a small sense of guilt still on his face to a degree. Izuku, before you go, sir, I just want to say, you have my sincerest apologies for making you close the store early and for all this trouble. Sujiro, it okay, don't worry about it. As he heard Sujiro, he felt a small sense of relief from hearing the man say that, but the feeling was only slight, as a little bit of the guilt he still felt for causing problems was still there, but he tried to push it down a bit. After a few moments of silence, he spoke again, wondering if there was anything else he could say or ask before the man left. Izuku, are you sure you don't want me to do anything? It okay, I promise. As he listened to Sujiro's words, he still felt a little guilty, but he didn't want to keep the man any longer by trying to apologize anymore. So he just nodded silently and spoke to Sujiro again. Izuku, oh okay. I hope your night is good, sir. You too, kid. As Izuku listened and nodded, he then watched as Sujiro started walking out of LeBlanc and started to head home, leaving him alone in the cafe. Once the door was closed behind Sujiro, Izuku looked back down at the diary he had been given and silently started to think about what he was even going to do for the rest of the night. Now, feeling a small sense of boredom starting to grow within him, Izuku looked around the cafe. From his spot at the counter, just silently wondering what he could do to pass some time. A part of him thought that maybe he could just go upstairs to the room he'd be staying in, and just lay down and read, but after a few moments of thinking, he decided to get down from the stool he'd been sitting at the counter on and silently started walking around the empty cafe, just trying to find something to at least keep himself from getting too bored. As he slowly walked around the cafe, everything was silent, the only sounds being the small sounds of his footsteps on the ground. After a while of walking around, he came to the realization that he wasn't going to find anything that would keep him from getting bored here, and silently sighed as he decided it would probably be better to just go upstairs to his room. He slowly started walking towards the stairs to go upstairs. After walking up the stairs and entering his new room, he silently closed the door behind him, and let out a small sigh. It felt weird to know this place was going to be his home for the next year, but he didn't really have much of a choice in the matter. He then looked around the room for a moment, silently taking in the surroundings and layout of everything in his new room. After he finished looking around, he slowly walked forward and sat down on the bed, and let out another sigh. Izuku, that strange app I saw last night is back. It keeps showing up. I should probably reboot my phone, just in case. My eyelids are starting to get heavy. As he talked to himself, his gaze slowly fell down to the phone in his hands, and a wave of curiosity hit him as he looked at it. He honestly wasn't sure what could even be causing that strange app that he swore he deleted to be on there again, but he tried to come at this in a logical way and not act on pure curiosity. As he thought about rebooting his phone, or even turning it off for the night, he felt a wave of tiredness hit him, and he let out a small yawn, his eyelids slowly starting to feel heavy as tiredness began to take over. Next day, Izuku slowly opened his eyes, his vision still blurry from just waking up and from sleep still lingering in his eyes. He let out a small yawn in his semi-conscious state and slowly sat up, letting out another small yawn before rubbing his eyes to help get rid of the blurriness in his vision. After his vision started to clear up, he glanced around the room for a moment before he looked over at the clock on his nightstand, silently noting the time, and what time he'd need to leave to be at school by. After he noted the time and everything, he then slowly pushed the covers of the bed away and slid out of the bed, still a bit tired. As he stood up, he let out yet another small yawn, still working on waking himself up. After yawning yet again, he stopped and stayed silent for a moment to try and come to full awakeness to start getting ready for the day, and after a moment, he sighed softly as he realized just how tired he still was before he slowly walked towards the desk to get to his school bag that he had left there yesterday. As he started walking over to his school bag, his mind began slowly drifting towards school, specifically what would be going on today, namely the first of his classes, and more specifically a certain teacher that he had already interacted with before he left Sujiro. Oh, so you actually are going to school? Izuku had just grabbed his school bag when he heard Sujiro's voice, and he paused for a moment in surprise before nodding silently and speaking in his soft and polite voice. To be honest, he was just as surprised and slightly shocked that Sujiro was actually awake to see him off as well. Izuku, yes sir, I have to go, or else I'll be late. Sujiro, here, I'll feed you, just make sure you finish it before the customers start coming in. As Izuku listened to what Sujiro was saying, he was honestly still a bit surprised at the man's sudden offer of breakfast to him, but he was honestly hungry, so he wasn't going to turn the offer down. He slowly placed his school bag back down on the desk, and nodded silently, and spoke while turning around to face the man. Izuku, thank you. Yes sir, NP. Izuku nodded silently again, and quietly sat down at a stool at the counter. As he sat down in the stool, he silently took in the surroundings, and waited for Sujiro to get the food he was going to eat. Students run to school in the rain. As Izuku silently watched the students hurry to school, a small sense of anxiety and worry slowly built up within him. It was honestly strange to think that these students were just going about their days as normal, while he was stuck going to an entirely new school for an entire year. He silently pushed those thoughts down for now though, and quickly looked away, instead opting to just look down at the food in front of him, and silently start eating it, not wanting to think about how the other students were going about their normal days. Izuku, however, is stuck hiding under an awning. The mysterious app reappears on his phone. A hooded figure hurries past to hide under the same awning. She removes her hood. A girl notices Izuku staring at her oddly, but doesn't seem to mind. Izuku had just finished off his food, and was quickly checking the time on his phone to check whether he was on track to getting to school on time, when he got some strange notifications and pop-ups on his phone. He honestly had a small feeling he knew what they were for, but at the same time he was still a bit confused as he kept seeing this strange app he had deleted appear again. However, before he could think about the pop-ups and strange app he had gotten again, he was quick to be snapped out of his thoughts as he heard a small voice speak up. Grown-ass nigga. Good morning. You want me to give you a ride to school? You're gonna be late. The girl, sure, thank you. As Izuku listened silently to the girl speaking before the man offered her a ride to school when he heard her say she would probably be late if she didn't accept his offer. He slowly looked up, just as silently, not really having expected to hear someone around his age be offered a ride, though as he slowly turned his head to look up, he paused for a moment as he realized the girl he had accidentally been staring at was the one to get the offer. Do you need a lift too? Look at Izuku. As the man suddenly turned the offer on him, Izuku was caught completely off guard and froze up for a moment as his eyes widened slightly in surprise and his face began to heat up. He honestly wasn't expecting for an offer that was originally for the girl to suddenly be extended to him as well. As he was given a chance to decline, he quickly, but politely, declined the offer and spoke in a soft and quiet voice, his face still feeling warm from when he was caught off guard by the sudden offer. Izuku, and no thank you, sir, I'm fine walking. As Izuku watched silently as the man drove off with the girl, he couldn't help but notice that she looked distressed. He internally questioned what could have caused her to suddenly look so distressed, but at the same time he was sure it wasn't his business to pry, so he said nothing as he just silently watched the car drive away. As Izuku watched as the blonde-haired boy began running after the car, his face had a small hint of curiosity on it, wondering what the boy was about to do once he caught up with the car. Blonde kid, damn it, screw that pervy teacher. Izuku, pervy teacher? As the strange app responded to his voice and began to glow, he wasn't paying attention and didn't realize what was happening until the strange app spoke up all of a sudden. Vulgar boy, what do you want? You plannin' on ratting me out to Kamoshida? Huh? In that car just now, it was Kamoshida. He does whatever the hell he wants. Who does he think he is? The king of a castle? Don't you agree? It's just a saying. Wait, you don't know Kamoshida? Are you for real? You're from Shujin, right? As the boy asked the question, Izuku froze for a moment and a wave of anxiety hit him, knowing that the boy would probably have a bad reaction to him not knowing who this Kamoshida was. Because of that anxiety and fear, he froze for a moment and stayed silent, not really knowing how he was supposed to respond to the question, so he just silently and slowly shook his head as a response. What? No other high school's got a uniform like this. A second year, huh? We're the same? Great then. Never seen you before though. Oh, you a transfer student? As the boy questioned him more, Izuku's eyes darted around nervously as he tried figuring out how he was going to answer the questions. After a few moments of nervous silence, he slowly nodded as a response to the last one, speaking in a soft and quiet voice as he answered the last question. Izuku, why yeah, I'm a transfer student. Then no wonder you don't know him. This rain ain't too bad. We better hurry up, or we'll be late. As the boy suddenly started to mention the rain, Izuku silently looked up at the sky and noted that while the rain itself really wasn't all that heavy, he was still getting soaked from it, as he hadn't brought an umbrella with him to cover himself from the rain with. Though, as he thought about the rain, he suddenly remembered that he was still running late to school, and he quickly looked over at the clock on his phone and noted that he was going to be late if he didn't start heading to the school soon. There's a flash of purple, and both Izuku and the other boy grasped their heads. As the flash of purple happened, he quickly shut his eyes and put one of his hands up to the side of his head to rub it as a sense of pain hit head, groaning softly at the feeling as he slowly opened his eyes and tried to get over the pain. Time marches forward. See, there was a terrible subway accident that day. You remember it, don't you? I assume you know of the uproar that the public calls the psychotic breakdown incidents. As Izuku stayed silent and listened to what the woman was saying, he was still trying to shake off the leftover pain and disorientation he had gotten from the strange flash of purple he had just seen not too long ago, and it took a few moments of just silently listening to the woman before he registered what she was talking about and silently nodded for a brief moment. You say that like it's none of your business. It was all over the news, and one of the victims included a teacher at your high school. I've no doubt you heard about it. On that day, Were you still an ordinary student? Let me change the question. You transferred to Shujin Academy, correct? An ordinary prep school that could be found in any city. That's what it should have been. What happened around that time? Tell me everything, truthfully. As the woman suddenly began questioning him again, he was suddenly hit by a wave of anxiety and fear when he heard her mention anything about the psychotic breakdown incidents, and the teacher who'd been a victim of one, even though it shouldn't be any of his business and not his problem. For a few moments he stayed silent, trying to figure out how he was going to respond. On one hand he wanted to just be truthful, and say what happened, and tell the truth, but on the other he was afraid of what could happen if he did say what happened. Back to the past. Inside Izuku bag, the app turns itself on. Blonde boy, wah, because suddenly there's a castle. The boy's reaction is decidedly understated. What's going on here? I guess we'll just have to go and ask. As the blonde boy spoke up and reacted to the sudden appearance of the castle, Izuku stayed silent as his eyes widened, trying to figure out what could have possibly caused it to suddenly appear out of nowhere. Silently looking back and forth between the blonde-haired boy and the castle before slowly speaking in a slightly soft and quiet voice. Izuku, see. Castle? Through the distortion, another building is visible. As Izuku silently looked through the distortion and took in the surroundings, he noticed the other building and silently tilted his head and looked at it with a small sense of confusion, wondering if it was also part of the castle or if it was a completely separate building. As the boy spoke questionably, Izuku, look, there's another B building, vulgar boy. That's weird. Where's the school? As the vulgar boy spoke up, Izuku silently let out a small hum of slight agreement. Silently, thinking the exact same thing, he silently looked through the distortion to try and find the school for the both of them, but silently cursed himself as he found that he couldn't see the school anywhere in sight. He was sure it couldn't have just suddenly vanished. It should be, it said Shujin on the gate. What's going on here? As the vulgar boy spoke up and mentioned the school's name, Izuku hummed softly and nodded silently in agreement, his eyes still wandering through the distortion, trying his best to find the school that was supposed to be there. And with every failed attempt to find it, the feeling of confusion and slight anxiety that he was feeling was growing more and more by the second. Vulgar boy? Out of service? Where'd we end up? As the vulgar boy spoke up again and questioned their current location, Izuku silently looked over at the boy, silently thinking to himself that the situation they were in right now really wasn't good, as the feeling of slight anxiety and fear he had was steadily growing and growing, but at the same time he spoke nothing as to not draw any attention to it. Geez, you freaked me out. Look at the knights. Who are you? You a student? Man, your costume's impressive. Is that armor real? Come on. Don't just stand there. Say something. As he looked over and took in the appearance of the knights that were standing guard in front of the gate, he silently noted that the armor they had on was real, and not just a fake costume, and honestly was a bit surprised by the realization, not really having expected armor to be real, and a small hint of awe was on his face as he silently looked at their armor. Vulgar boy, hey, what's going on? They come close. Izuku's attention was suddenly taken off of admiring the knights and their armor when the vulgar boy suddenly spoke up and began walking closer to them, and he quickly snapped out of silently admiring the knights and silently started to question how close the boy was going to get to them, as he was honestly worried that the vulgar boy might get himself hurt by doing that. OWW. You're gonna break my bones, damn it. The hell you think you're Og? Knight 1, take them away. As the vulgar boy got a bit too close to the guards and tried to struggle in the strong hands of the knights, Izuku quickly looked away from the vulgar boy and the guards and silently listened, as one of them spoke in a stern and loud voice. His eyes widened in slight shock and fear as he realized that him and the vulgar boy were likely going to be taken away and punished for trespassing on the castle grounds. Vulgar boy, wake up. As Izuku heard the vulgar boy suddenly call out and tell him to wake up, Izuku was slowly starting to realize that something was wrong, and that he was likely dreaming, and as that realization kicked in, he slowly began to sit up and start slowly waking up. You alright? As Izuku fully woke up, he slowly rubbed his head with one of his hands and looked around a moment, silently groaning softly to himself as he got over the grogginess and slight pain he was feeling from waking up, and for a few moments he was silent as he continued silently rubbing his head. After a few more moments of silently groaning and rubbing his head, he finally responded to the vulgar boy's question. Izuku, why yeah, I'm fine. Ow. Yeah, more or less. Looks like this ain't no dream, What's going on? You hear horrific screams, as he suddenly heard the sounds of screams from somewhere nearby and around him. He quickly sat up and began looking around in a slight panic, silently trying to figure out where the screams were coming from and who they were coming from, as a slight sense of anxiety began to flood his mind and body. Night 1, your charge is unlawful entry. Thus, you will be sentenced to death. As Izuku heard everything being said by the knight, his eyes quickly widened in shock mixed with fear, as he silently processed what the knight had just announced, and he couldn't help but silently pray that it was all just a stupid joke that they were trying to play on them to try and trick them, as there was no way they were going to die like this, right? Alright, vulgar boy? Huh, wait, is that you? Kamoshida? Pointing at the king. Kamoshida, I thought it was some petty thief. But to think it'd be you, Bakugou. As Izuku silently began listening to the king, he was silently going over various things in his mind, mostly just trying to figure out what exactly was going on and who this king was, as he silently had a sense of fear and anxiety coursing through him, as he silently cursed to himself, knowing that he was probably going to be executed. Kamoshida, are you trying to disobey me again? It looks like you haven't learned your lesson at all, huh? And you brought a friend this time? Because you can't do anything for yourself. As Izuku silently continued listening to the conversation and argument between the vulgar boy and the king, he silently noted the hint of anger that was laced in the king's voice and in his words towards the vulgar boy. Though he did note that the vulgar boy seemed to be standing his ground pretty well, and seemed to have the courage to even talk back to the king. Bakugo, this ain't funny, you asshole. As the vulgar Bakugo spoke up and cursed at the king, Izuku was actually a bit surprised at the vulgar boy's courage to even talk and curse at the king like that, as he honestly would not have had the courage to do such a thing in a situation like this. Kamoshida, is that how you speak to a king? It seems you don't understand the position you're in at all. Not only did you sneak into my castle, you committed the crime of insulting me, the king. The punishment for that is death. It's time for an execution. Take him out. Knight started to beat up Bakugo, and when Izuku tried to help he just get thrown to the wall. As Izuku silently watched as the knight started to beat up the vulgar boy, he tried to step in and tried to stop them, but one of the knights quickly turned their attention to him and threw him against the wall, as he hit it and fell to the ground, and silently cursed to himself as he hit the ground and silently put his hand up to the back of his head in pain, and he tried to get up and help the vulgar boy, but he had a feeling that he'd just be thrown against the wall again if he tried. Bakugo, come on, hurry up and go. Kamoshida, what's the matter? Too scared to run away? HMPH, pathetic scum isn't worth my time. I'll focus on this one's execution. Kamoshida, take this. Punch lowly scum. Useless pest. Spit. From earlier go. HMPH. Where'd your energy? As Izuku silently watched the beating continue, and silently heard the king continue to speak insults and harsh and vile comments at the boy, he just sat there in a stunned and almost paralyzed with both fear and pain, as every word and every punch continued to fill his body and mind with more and more guilt and anxiety. A peasant like you isn't worth beating. I'll have you killed right en. Izuku, stop it. As the king made his words clear to the vulgar boy in a slightly mocking tone, Izuku snapped out of his silent fear and anxiety-driven paralysis by his own words and slowly forced himself to stand up and speak up to the king and say something in an attempt to try and stop the beating. What? Don't you dare tell me you don't know who I am. That look in your eyes irritates me. Kick in his stomach, hold him there. After the peasant, it's his turn to die. Look at the knights with Bakugo. Everything turns purple, and Izuku starts screaming in pain. Vow to me, I am thou, thou art I, thou who art willing to perform all sacrilegious acts for thine own justice, call upon my name, and release thy rage. Show the strength of thy will to ascertain all on thine own, though thou be chained to hell itself. Izuku stops screaming, show the strength of thy will to ascertain all on thine own, though thou be chained to hell itself. Kamoshida, execute him. As the king spoke, and gave the order to execute them, Izuku quickly was thrown back into a panic, and he frantically looked around the room, trying to figure out what he could do to get out of their situation, as his heart was beating quickly in his chest out of a mixture anxiety and fear. Izuku, stop it. As Izuku desperately tried to think of something, anything, he could do to try and stop the upcoming execution, his eyes happened to land on a piece of glass that was lying on the ground, and his eyes widened slightly as an idea suddenly came to his mind. Kamoshida, what was that? You desire to be killed that much? Fine. Knight smash his shield into Izuku, as a sudden burst of wind came through the room, and knocked the knight off balance, and out of the way. Izuku's eyes widened in surprise, as he couldn't believe what had just happened, and he was left silently, standing there in shock and confusion due to the sudden blast of wind. As Izuku felt some kind of strange object become attached to his face, his eyes quickly widened in surprise and shock, as this was the last thing he had been expecting, and he quickly reached up and grabbed the object and pulled it off his face to see exactly what it was. As he tried to pull the object off of his face, blood dripped onto his face, which surprised him, as he wasn't expecting there to suddenly be blood on his face, and he tried to wipe it off, and he tried to once again pull the object from his face, when suddenly the blood that was on his face flared up into flames, and he let out a startled and surprised scream as he took a small step back, as the fire that came from his body became a figure of its own, and stood behind him. Izuku's eyes silently widened slightly, as he was shocked and surprised by the fact that there was a figure made out of fire now behind him, and his eyes widened in even more surprise when the figure suddenly sent the guards that were around him flying across the room. Mysterious voice. I am the pillager of Twilight. Arsene, I am the rebel soul that resides within you. Arsene, if you so desire, I shall consider granting you the power to break through this crisis. Izuku, give me your power. He quickly defeated them. Bakugo, what? Izuku examines his sweet new duds. As Izuku silently looked down at himself, he found himself silently surprised by the new outfit and appearance he suddenly had, as he silently and slightly confusedly traced some of the lines on his new outfit with his fingers. Bakugo, what was that just now? Kamoshida, you lit. Bakugo just runs up and bowls him over. You like that, you son of a bitch? As the two of them silently walked out of the cell they were previously locked in, Izuku silently watched as Bakugo went and smashed the door shut before locking it. Silently, slightly, hoping that would keep the king in the cell for a while. Bakugo, whoa, your clothes went back to normal. As Bakugo spoke aloud and questioned him, Izuku looked down at his clothes, silently, realizing he was right and that they had gone back to normal, and he let out a soft hum, silently, surprised by the fact that this had happened. As he looked back up at Bakugo, Kamoshida startles the two by slamming the bars. Kamoshida, you bastards. Bakugo, God, this is effin' nuts. Anyways, let's scram. You lead the way. Bakugo hucks the keys as far as he can. Bakugo, gasp pant ils this, the exit? Hey, let's get the hell out of this place. It was just to another floor. Ain't the exit? What the hell is this place? Bakugo, hey, look, we really did hear people screaming, so we ain't the only ones who got captured. Is he okay? Figures wearing strange masks are locked in cages. That's troubling. Bakugo, another dead end? Damn it. How the hell are we supposed to get out of here? Unknown voice. Hey, you there, blondie, frizzy hair, look over here. What is this thing? It look like a cat. Strange creature. You're not soldiers of this castle, right? Get me out of here. Look, the keys. Right there. Bakugo, we are trying to get the hell out of here. I mean, you obviously look like an enemy too. Strange creatures. I'm locked up here. So how can I be your enemy? Help me out. Izuku, a cat? Strange creature. I am not a cat. Say that again, and I'll make you regret it. In the distance, the shuffling of guards can be heard. Bakugo, they're catching up already. Strange creature, hey, you too. You want to know where the exit is? Let me out and I'll take you there. You don't want to get caught and executed, right? Izuku, you better help us. Strange creature, freedom tastes so great. Bakugo, now, where's the exit, you monster cat? As Bakugo spoke, once again calling the creature a cat, a slight look of annoyance and offense appeared on the creature's face as he looked at Bakugo. The creature, I told you not to call me a cat, got it? I'm Morgana, not a cat. Bakugo, shut up, and hurry it up. You want to be locked up again? As Bakugo snapped at the creature silently telling him to stop talking, and to get a move on. Finding their way out, a look of annoyance and slight irritation appeared on Morgana's face as he silently looked at Bakugo with a slight glare. Morgana. Okay, just follow me. Meanwhile, Miss Kawakami. It's fourth period already. Sakura-san said that Izuku-kun left the house this morning. Should I contact the police? No, that'll just be more of a hassle. Sai, what did I do to deserve this? Back in the castle. Bakugo, oh well, guess we just gotta follow it. As the three of them silently made their way through the castle, the sudden appearance of another guard, popping out of nowhere in front of them, caught them off guard, and had Bakugo immediately freaking out. Morgan, TCH, you amateur, Stay still. Hey, you could fight, right? Let's go. Look at Izuku. As his persona, Zoro suddenly appeared. Izuku silently became somewhat bewildered and surprised, as he was not expecting something like this to happen in the first place. Bakugo, you got one of those things too? After the battle Bakugo, huh? He turned back to normal, talking about Izuku clothes. Morgan, it looks like you don't have full control over your power yet. The transformation shouldn't normally dissolve like that, after all. Bakugo, oh that makes sense. Morgan, you just listen for once, Blondie. Bakugo, don't call me Blondie, my name's Bakugo. After finally a room with an opening to the outside, the boy was able to leave. Katsuki and Izuku climb the shelf and leave. Morgana, those two seem useful, especially the frizzy-haired one if my judgment's right. Bakugo, did we make it? Navigation voice. You have returned to the real world. Welcome back Bakugo, huh? Returned? Does that mean we got away? Bakugo? I dunno what to think anymore. Aggressive officer. What's with the yelling? Are you students of Shujin? Cutting classes are we? Izuku. Huh, no, we were trying to get to school. And we ended up at this weird castle. Aggressive officer. What? Hand over your bag. You better not be doing any drugs. Bakugo, why would you think that? Look piss off. Aggressive officer. Are you his friend? Izuku. Yes sir. Aggressive officer. Then you should go to school. Take him with you. Bakugo, is this for real? I'm sure we came the same way. What's going on here? Counselor? That's exactly what I wanted to ask you. We received a call from the police. It's rare not to see you alone. Where were you roaming around until this time? Izuku, a castle? What's this about a castle? Bakugo, Kamashita, you seem so carefree. Bakugo, quite a difference from when you did morning practice for the track team. Bakugo, shut up. It's your fault that, counselor. How dare you speak that way to Mr. Kamashita? There's not much leeway left for you know? Bakugo, he's the one that provoked me. Counselor, do you really want to be expelled? In any case, you'll have to explain yourself. Follow me. Bakugo. What? This is bullshit. Counselor, come now. I should have been more considerate too. Let's just say that we were both to blame. Well, if you say so, still, you're coming with me. It's undeniable that you're extremely late. Bakugo. Fine. Kamashita, by the way, you're that new transfer student, correct? Izuku Midoriya. Izuku. Yes I am. Kamashita. Have we met somewhere? That's right. I remember now. Well, I'll overlook this just for today. Kamashita. I'm sure you've heard from the principal. But cause any trouble, and you'll be expelled. Understand? Kamashita. At any rate, hurry up and go to the faculty office. I'm sure Ms. Kawakami's tired of waiting. Kamashita. Good luck trying to enjoy your new school life. In the investigation room. See? The school turned into an old castle? A talking cat? Are you hallucinating from an overdose? I won't put up with you if you're simply joking around. I'm going to have you continue the story. The one who received a calling card from the Phantom Thieves was an Olympic medalist. It's true that what he did were deplorable crimes. From indulging his desire, he confessed to it all. But there should have been no connection between the two of you since you had just transferred. Why did you target him? Izuku. I am not a rat, I don't snitch. See? That's unacceptable. Try and recall it once again. Chapter 1. Friday Night Fights. Late middle-aged teacher. So you're that problem. Transfer student late on the first day. 2. You like causing trouble for the school? What's with that attitude? Show some respect. Do you even want to be reformed? I bet this is a good sign of what you'll be like here. Ms. Kawakami. Sigh, unbelievable. Being over half a day late on your first day? Can you explain yourself? Izuku. I got lost. Ms. Kanakami. How could you have been lost for this long? It's almost lunchtime. Well, it's probably true that you're not used to the area yet, but you're still way too late. Will you pull yourself together? You were given fair warning yesterday. More importantly, I heard that you were caught along with that Bakugo-kun. Don't get involved with him, okay? He's nothing but trouble. He wasn't like that when he was devoting his time to track and field though. Anyway, break's almost over. Classes will end after 5th period today because of the subway accident. Have you introduced yourself when class resumes? Follow me. Be serious about it even if you're lying to the class, okay? Do not say anything unnecessary. In the classroom. Ms. Kawakami, settle down. Well, I'd like to introduce a transfer student. Izuku Midoriya. Today we had him attend from the afternoon on since he wasn't feeling well. Alright, please say something to the class. Izuku. WSP. Ms. Kawakami. So, your seat will be over there, the one that's open. Sorry, but can the people nearby please share your textbooks with him for today? Flashy female student. Lies. After class. Izuku grasps his head in pain. Ms. Kawakami, what's wrong? Izuku, is this a castle? Ms. Kawakami. Sai, are you sure you're okay? Also, it seems like people are already talking about you. But I'm not the one who told them. I can't even catch a break. Why do I have to deal with this? You should head straight home without stopping by anywhere. Bakugo-san. Sounded pretty angry. Oh. And about Bakugo-kun. Don't get involved. Speak of the devil. What do you want? I heard the police caught you cutting classes today. Look at Bakugo. Bakugo, it was nothing. I'll be waiting on the rooftop. Ms. Kawakami, see? That's why I don't want you getting involved. Understood? On the roof. Katsuki, sorry for calling you up here like this. I bet Kawakami already told you stuff like don't get involved with him. Huh? Heh, we're pretty much in the same boat. I heard you got a criminal record. Everyone's talking about it. No wonder you were so gutsy. It wasn't a dream, right? You remember it too, yeah? But man, that Kamashita we saw there. You probably don't know about it, but there are some rumors about him. Yeah. The ripped mophead. That asshole who was all full of himself at the castle. No one says anything against him cause he's some medalist who took the volleyball team to nationals. The way Kamashita was king of that castle felt crazy real. 'Cause of that, I wonder if we can go back to that castle again. Sorry to drag you out here like this. That's all I had to say. You know, we might be pretty similar. I feel like we're gonna get along just fine as troublemakers. I'll come talk if I see you around. Don't ignore me. Alright? Siaya. Bakugo leaves. As Izuku walked through the front door of LeBlanc, he was silently greeted by Sujiro, who began to silently inform him that he had gotten an interesting call from his school today. Sujiro, it's only your first day, and you're already showing up hours late? And here I thought you got up and left on time this morning. Look, just behave yourself. Your life's forfeit if anything happens. You understand the meaning of probation, right? Sujiro answers his phone. Yeah. I just closed up shop. I'll be there in half an hour. Sujiro, hey. What are you standing around for? Go hurry on up to bed. No. I just hired a part-timer. Don't forget to lock the door and turn all the lights off. Okay? In the morning Izuku, fate and awakening? More importantly, I need to hurry and get ready for school. After school before he left Kamashita. Hey there. Shield, things have been pretty dangerous lately with all those accidents. You looking for a ride home? Shield, sorry, I have a photo shoot today. It's for the special summer issue, so I can't afford to miss it. Kamashita, hey. Now, being a model's fine and dandy, but don't work your pretty little self to the bone. You mentioned you weren't feeling well, right? Something about appendicitis? Shield, yes. I keep planning to go to the hospital, but I've been too busy. Sorry to worry you, Kamashita. You must be lonely too. I feel bad for keeping your best friend at practice so often. That's why I asked you out in the first place. Oh, and be careful around that transfer student. He's got a criminal record after all. If something were to happen to you. Shield, thank you. Please excuse me. When Izuku leaving Bakugo? Yo, I want to talk about that castle from yesterday. I tried telling myself it was all just a dream. But I couldn't do it. I can't act like nothing happened. It's all connected to that bastard Kamashita. After all, I want to find out what's up with that place, no matter what. And you know, you're the only person I can rely on for this stuff. So you in, Izuku? Yeah, I'm in. Bakugo. Ooh, I hope you get my favorite color. Looks like I managed to talk some sense into you. I think we should just try and retrace our steps from yesterday. In the meantime, you're walking to the station, right? Let's go together. Let me know if you notice any other weird buildings on the way. Izuku. Katsuki doesn't seem like a bad guy. I should probably just go along with this. Bakugo, when they build something like that though, we walk that way from here, right? When you put it that way, I'm not so sure anymore. Alright, this way. Let me know if you notice something. Bakugo, we're at school. There wasn't anything out of place along the way, right? I didn't see no castle either. We must have made a wrong turn somewhere. Let's try again. Bakugo, come on, you gotta stick with me to the end. Let's go. One more attempt later. Bakugo, is it smaller than we think it is? What do you think? Izuku. Check your phone. Bakugo, I already did that. I didn't see anything like it around here, huh? Phone, hey, that reminds me. Didn't you have a navigation app thingy on back then? Izuku, navigation app? Bakugo, I dunno if it was or not. But I heard stuff that sounded like one coming from your phone. You know, didn't it say stuff like return to the real world, or something like that? Let me see your phone for a bit. Izuku, sure, it's on this page. There's no history of it being used as a navigation app. He handed the phone over to Bakugo. Bakugo, what's this eyeball-looking thing? Izuku, I can't delete it. Bakugo, the app's called MetaNav. I'm looking it up on the net. But there's 0 hits, no info on it whatsoever. App, Kamashita, Shujin Academy, Pervert, Castle, beginning navigation. The two of them suddenly went silent as the castle suddenly and unexpectedly appeared in front of them once again. They stood there silently looking at the building in front of them, unsure of what to do. Bakugo, look, it's the castle from yesterday. Bakugo, we made it back. That means what happened yesterday was for real too, Yerg. Those clothes. Bakugo, that happened last time too. Huh? What's with that outfit? Izuku, not bad. Huh? Bakugo, you like it? What's going on here? This makes no effing sense at all. Famifer voice, hey, Morgan, stop making a commotion. Izuku, you. Morgan, the shadows started acting up. So I came here wondering what it could be too. Think you guys would come back to the entrance when you barely managed to escape. Bakugo, what is this place? Is it the school? Morgan, that's right, Bakugo. But it's a castle. Morgan, this castle is the school, but only to this castle's ruler. Bakugo, the castle's ruler? Morgan, I think you called him Kamashita? It's how his distorted heart views the school. Bakugo, Kamashita, distorted? Explain it in a way that makes sense. Suddenly, a loud and horrific sound could be heard, coming from seemingly somewhere within the castle. Bakugo, oh shit, it's for real. We saw other guys held captive here yesterday. I'm pretty sure they're from our school. Morgan, most likely on Kamashita's orders. It's nothing out of the ordinary. It's like that every day here. What's more, you two escaped yesterday. He must have lost his temper quite a bit. Bakugo, that son of a bitch. Morgan, Katsuki, Bakugo, this is bullshit. Bakugo, you hear me? Kamashita? Morgan, doing that isn't going to open it, you know. Still, it seems you have your reasons. Bakugo, hey, Monomona, Morgana, it's Morgana. Bakugo, do you know where those voices are coming from? Morgana, you want me to take you to them? Well, I guess I could guide you there, but only if he comes with us. Bakugo, Morgana, I just want to get a better look at your powers. Even if you don't agree, I bet this guy'll go on even if he has to do it alone. Are you gonna leave him? Morgana, it's settled then. Bakugo, for real? Thanks, man. Morgana, alright. Let's do this. Follow me. Morgana, this is our infiltration point. Bakugo, ain't that where we escaped out of last time? Morgan, that's right, not barging in through the entrance is one of the basics of phantom thievery. Bakugo, how are we supposed to know about that stuff? Morgana, I'll make sure to teach you as we go. Come on, follow me. Bakugo, so, sorry for dragging you into all of this, but I can't just forgive that bastard. Kamashita doing whatever the hell he wants. Really though, thanks for coming along. I owe you, big time. Bakugo, man, this place is as creepy as always. Morgan, HM. Now make sure you do exactly as I say. Alright, follow me. Bakugo, hey, we went by here when we came in the front. The room changes appearance suddenly, then changes back. Izuku, I was seeing double or something just now. Was that Shujin? Bakugo, I've told you before, this place is your school. Regardless, we don't have the time to stand around. Who knows when a shadow might show up. Come on this way, underground prison. Morgana, darn, I had a feeling there would be guards here. Izuku, did you hear that? Morgana, I think that's just a little further ahead. Let's go. Morgana, shoot, there's a guard on duty here. Morgana, it looks like we won't be able to avoid conflict from this point forward. Bakugo, F for real? Morgan, oh well, I'll just teach you the basics of battle right now. You had better remember all of this. As a rule of thumb, try to ambush as many enemies as you can. Attack them from behind. Whenever possible, you'll need to rip off their masks to momentarily break the control the palace ruler has over them. If you succeed, the enemy will be caught off guard, allowing us to jump in for a preemptive attack. One fight later. Bakugo, the train-in halls? Up ahead, right? Morgana, yeah. It's a little further. Make sure you watch out for any guards along the way. Armored soldier, hey, have you seen anyone who looks like an intruder? Armored soldier 2. No, nobody yet. Morgana, shoot. I had a feeling there would be a lot of enemies. It'd be impossible to dodge all of them. Bakugo, then, what do we do? Should we try and take him down like before? Morgana, it's not that simple. We still have a long way to go, so we should be conserving energy. Bakugo, I see. Sorry, damn it. I wish I could fight. I'd at least be able to help out a little bit, but all I got is this toy from earlier. I'm such a loser. Morgan, huh? Do you mean that gun? Bakugo, yeah. It looks real and all, but it doesn't shoot anything. Morgana, I see. Well, there is a way. Okay, we'll use that to take down the enemies. Bakugo, what? Were you listening to me? It don't even shoot pellets. Morgan, don't worry. I'm sure this'll work. Attack away. Frizzy hair. Izuku, leave it to me. He attacked the monster. Bakugo, wait dude, I keep saying. It's not gonna fire anything. Morgana, you have the gun with you, right? Pointed at a shadow and fire. To everybody's surprise, the toy gun suddenly fired upon Bakugo's attempt to attack the shadow, shooting out a projectile and knocking the shadow to the ground. After battle, Bakugo, whoa, did that toy gun just shoot real freaking bullets? Morgan, this is a cognitive world. As long as our opponent sees it as real, it becomes such. It's a good thing it's realistic looking. Izuku and Bakugo? Oh, Bakugo, this voice, where's it coming from? Oh, is it coming from over there? The slaves are repeatedly beaten with sticks by the guards. Bakugo, damn it, this is bullshit. Morgana, how many times do I have to tell you to keep your voice down? Bakugo, but this is beyond messed up. How do I open this? Slave in shorts? Stop it. Slave in shorts. Leave us alone. It's useless. Izuku, slave in long pants. If we stay obedient, we won't be executed like you guys. Bakugo, if it all goes well, we can take down that asshole Kamashita. Bakugo, we can use the navigation app, but the camera's a no-go. Morgana, a navigation app? Bakugo, that's what we used to come here. What about yours? Look at Izuku. Izuku, my camera app won't open. Morgan, whatever you do is fine. But we're gonna get caught if we stand around like this. We need to head back. Bakugo, hang on a sec. There's no other way. I'll just memorize their faces before going home. They gather evidence, then they went to the front to leave until Shadow Kamashita, you knaves again. Shadow Kamashita, to think you'd make the same mistake again. You're hopeless. Bakugo, the school ain't your castle. I've memorized their faces real good. You're going down. Shadow Kamashita, it seems it's true when they say barking dogs seldom bite. How far the star runner of the track team has fallen. Bakugo, the hell are you getting at? Shadow Kamashita, I speak of the track traitor who acted in violence, ending his teammates' dreams. Oh, I can only imagine the pain of the others who were dragged under with your selfish act. Bakugo, NGH. Shadow Kamashita, what a surprise. So, you're accompanying him without knowing anything at all? He betrayed his teammates and crushed their hopes, yet he still carries on as carefree as ever. Bakugo, that's not true. Shadow Kamashita, you've come along with this fool and are now going to end up dead. How unlucky of you. Go, kill them all. Don't sully my castle with garbage. Talk to the two bicorn. Morgana, Bakugo, move. Bakugo took off running, quickly moving away from their current spot. Morgana, Enge, NG, we're surrounded. Him and Izuku are. Guard Shadow, I'll kill you cuz. King Kamashita told us. I'll kill, cuz that's what he wants. Morgana exclaimed that they were suddenly surrounded, with both him and Izuku trapped in the center. A shadow guard threatened to kill them, proclaiming that he'd kill them because the king, Kamashita, had ordered him to. Morgana exclaimed, silently panicking as even more shadows began to surround them. The shadows quickly overwhelmed both of them, surrounding and cornering them. Before the two of them could even attempt to defend themselves, the shadows had already attacked them. Shadow Kamashita step on Morgana. Morgana, RGH, you piece of Shadow Kamashita. I bet you simply came here on a whim and ended up like this. Isn't that right, Bakugo? No, Shadow Kamashita. What a worthless piece of trash. Getting emotional so quickly. How dare you raise your hand at me, though it was only temporary. Have you forgotten my kindness in supervising track practice? Bakugo, wasn't no practice, it was physical abuse. You just didn't like our team. Shadow Kamashita, it was nothing but an eyesore. The only one who needs to achieve results is me. That coach who got fired was hopeless too. Had he not opposed me with a sound argument, I would have settled it with only breaking his star's leg. Bakugo, what? Shadow Kamashita, do you need me to deal with your other leg too? The school will call it self-defense anyway. Bakugo, damn it, am I gonna lose again? Not only can I not run anymore, the track team is gone too cuz of this asshole. Morgan, so that's why. Shadow Kamashita, once these two are dealt with, you're next. Ha 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 ha. Morgana, Bakugo, Izuku, stand up for yourself. Bakugo, you're right, everything that was important to me was taken by him. I'll never get him back. Shadow Kamashita, stay there and watch. Look on as these hopeless scum die for nothing, because they sided with trash like you. Bakugo? No, that's what you are. All you think about is using people. You're the real scumbag. Kamashita, Shadow Kamashita, what are you doing? Silence him. Bakugo, stop looking down on me with that stupid smile on your face. You made me wait quite a while. Bakugo grab his head. Bakugo? Aag, colon. You seek power? Correct. Then let us form a pact, colon. Since your name has been disgraced already, why not hoist the flag and wreak havoc? The other you who exists within desires it thus. I am thou, thou art I. There's no turning back. The skull of rebellion is your flag henceforth. Golden Knight. HMPH. What can you do? Cower in fear and watch. About to swing his sword. Epicugo. Bakugo. NNGH. Hrog. NNGH. Hrog. Shadow Kamashita. This one as well. Bakugo, this effin' rocks. Now that I got this power, it's time for payback. Yo, I'm ready. Blast him away. Captain Kidd. The knights were easily defeated by the three of them, with the two teenagers and the young cat beating them with relative ease. Bakugo? Gasped Pant. How about that, Morgana? Whoa, so Bakugo had the potential too. Bakugo, even if you apologize now, I ain't forgiven you. Shadow Kamashita. I told you that this is my castle. It seems you still don't understand. Bakugo, WH Shield? Morgana, oh, wah, what a meowvelous and beautiful girl. Bakugo, what's going on? Izuku, something seems off. Bakugo, yeah, now that you mention it, but why is she even here? Hey, let go of her you, perv. Take about how Shield is in here. Shadow Kamashita. How many times must I tell you until you understand? This is my castle, a place in which I can do whatever I want. Everyone wishes to be loved by me. That is, everyone besides slow-witted thieves like you. Bakugo, Shield, say something. Morgana, calm down. Bakugo, it seems that girl isn't the real one. She's the same as those slaves. A being made from Kamashita's cognition of her. Shadow Kamashita. Are you jealous? Well, I'm not surprised. Women aren't drawn to problematic punks like you. Bakugo, damn it. Shadow Kamashita. Clean them up this instant. Morgana, we're outnumbered. Let's scram before we get surrounded. They escape from the castle. Metaverse Navigator. You have returned to the real world. Welcome back, Bakugo. Thank God. We're back. I dragged you around a lot, huh? Sorry, man. I'm dead tired. How you holding up? Izuku. I could use a nap. Bakugo, me too, man. I'm gonna sleep like a rock when I get home. But damn, if what we saw was for real, this is gonna get good. I totally remember the faces of the guys Kamashita was treating like slaves. Once we make 'em fess up to any physical abuse, Kamashita will be done. So, wanna help me look for those guys, or any witnesses? Izuku, sure, I'll help. Bakugo, now that's what I'm talking about. Hey, so if you're thinking of laying low cause you got a record, I don't think that'll help. Everyone already knows. They totally got you pegged as a criminal. Bakugo, Kamashita opened his damn mouth. Bakugo, no one else besides a teacher could have leaked it that fast. It doesn't matter if it's a student or a club. That asshole just wrecks things he doesn't agree with, just like he did with me. No one'll take anything I say seriously. Still, those rumors about him getting physical might be real. And after seeing Kamashita's distorted heart thing in person, there's no way I can just sit back. Izuku, I feel you, but, Bakugo, you gotta do this. I'll help out too. Izuku nods. Bakugo, I'm counting on you. Don't worry. I'm hyped about this too. Bakugo? Oh, right, I haven't eaten anything since lunch. It'd be weird splitting off now, so why don't we grab a bite somewhere? Izuku, sure. Bakugo, just follow me. I mean, I totally gotta hear about your past. Bakugo, what the hell, man? How much shittier can that asshole get? Izuku, it's in the past. Bakugo, are you for real? If it was me, I wouldn't calm down until I punched that dick in the face. So, you left your hometown? And you're living here now, huh? We might be more alike than I originally thought. Bakugo, I don't got a record like you do. I mean, that's not the point. I guess it's how we're treated like a pain in the ass by the people around us. Like we don't belong. I did something stupid at school before too. Bakugo shovels the entire bowl into his mouth and slams it onto the counter. Bakugo, I gotta thank you for helping me. Anyways, I got your back like you got mine from tomorrow on. As long as we do something about Kamashita, I'm sure we'll both feel better about being at school. Oh yeah, tell me your number. Chat ID too. Meanwhile, at school, downtrodden girl, I haven't been sleeping well lately. Whenever I close my eyes I keep thinking about too many things. Shield, Shiho, nationals are coming up soon, so I keep thinking, should someone like me really be on the starting lineup? Shield, don't worry, just be confident in yourself. Your skills have been recognized. It's all because you work harder than anyone else. Shino, yeah, volleyball's all I have, after all. Shield, more importantly. Was that injury okay? It looked really swollen. Shino, no, it's nothing. It's normal, especially because a meet's coming up. Back at the cafe, Sejiro, you're home. Sejiro, I take it you actually went to school today? Sejiro, I guess you learned your lesson after what happened yesterday. As long as you're not getting into trouble, it's fine by me. I don't know what you've been up to, but trust me, you'll be gone if you start causing problems. In case you forget, your life is not a free one right now. Izuku nods. Sejiro, sheesh, are you even listening to me? Just stay away from bad influences, okay? Hey, I'm gonna head home for the night. I'll lock the store up. Don't go wandering out. In the classroom the next day, Ms. Kawakami. Okay, listen up everyone. As you all know, today is the volleyball rally. Head to the gymnasium once you've changed. Got it? Kamashita spikes, and the student fails to return. Bakugo still sticks out. Hasn't changed a bit. Pretty boring. They show this spike from 3 different angles, because Kamashita's just that good. The same student takes the spike right to the face. Bakugo, hell pay soon enough, and Kamashita continues on without breaking stride. Later, Bakugo, that asshole's actin' like a king over here too. Get to know each other better, my ass. It's just a one-man show for him too. Stroke his ego. And how he acted like he was worried about Mishima. What an abusive D-bag. Well anyways, now's our chance to go look for the guys we saw were slaves yesterday. Let's look for the faces we saw at the castle. All the members of the team should be here today. I'll be sure to find someone to spill about Kamashita's physical abuse. Just you wait, asshole. Izuku, where are you searching? Bakugo, the first one that popped out was a guy from Class D. So let's start from there. That's your class. Hopefully you can get him to talk without any issues. People have been avoiding me lately, so, oh, but you're kinda in the same boat, huh? They talking to the most of volleyball players, and they all denied. Bakugo? Crap, if we keep going at this pace, the ball game's gonna end. They spit up to try to get more ground, they didn't find anything. Text Bakugo, damn it. We're out of time. How'd it go? Izuku, no good. Bakugo, so you didn't have any luck either, okay? Let's regroup for now. See you in the courtyard? Melissa Shield, can I talk to you for a sec? Izuku, what is it, Melissa? It'll be quick. Anyway, what's with you? Like, how you were late the other day was a lie, and all. There's that weird rumor about you too. Bakugo, what I want with him? Melissa, right back at you. You're not even in our class. Bakugo, we just happened to get to know each other. Melissa, what are you planning on doing to Mr. Kamashita? Bakugo, huh? I see. I getcha. You're all buddy-buddy with Kamashita after all. Melissa, this has nothing to do with you. Bakugo, if you found out what he's been doing behind your back, you dump him right away. Melissa, behind my back? What's that supposed to mean? Bakugo, you wouldn't get it. Melissa, anyway, people are already talking about you too. I don't know what you're trying to pull, but no one's gonna help you. I'm warning you, just in case, that's all. She left the arena. Bakugo, why she gotta be so aggressive all the time? Izuku, you know her. Bakugo, we just went to the same middle school. Anyways, that's not what we're here to talk about. I had no luck on my end. What about you? Did anything like someone's name turn up? Izuku, Mishima. Bakugo, huh? Special coaching, huh? True, I always see the guy covered in bruises. Let's go talk to him before he leaves then. They went to go to look for Mishima. Bakugo, hey, got a second? Mishima. Bakugo, and you, too. Bakugo, come on, we just wanna chat. Kamashita's been coaching you, huh? You sure it's not just physical abuse? Mishima, certainly not. Bakugo, what are you talking all polite for? Anyways, we saw him spike you today, right in the face. Mishima, that was just because I'm not good at the sport. Bakugo, still, that doesn't explain all the other bruises you've got. Mishima, they're from practice. Bakugo, is he forcing you to keep quiet? Mishima, that's Kamashita, what's going on here? Kamashita, Mishima, isn't it time for practice? Mishima, I'm not feeling well today. Kamashita, what? Maybe you're better off quitting then. You're never going to improve that crappy form unless you show up to practice. Bakugo, didn't you hear? He ain't feeling well. Kamashita, well, Mishima, are you coming to practice or not? Mishima, I'll go. Kamashita, as for you, any more trouble, and you'll be gone from this school for sure. Kamashita, same goes for you. Didn't the principal tell you to keep in line? Kamashita, HMPH, just don't get in the way of my practice. All these unsettling rumors are making the students anxious after all. Bakugo, that's your own goddamn fault. Kamashita, this won't get us anywhere. Let's go Mishima. Shujin Academy is a place where those with aspirations come to learn. Unworthy students like yourselves don't have any right to be here. Get with the program. Yes, sir. Kamoshida walks away. Bakugo? That asshole. Bakugo? He's gonna pay for this. Mishima. There's no point. Bakugo, huh? Mishima. Proving that he's physically abusing us is meaningless. Everybody knows. The principal, our parents, they all know, and they all keep quiet about it. Back at home, Izuku, I'm tired from all the stuff that happened today. I think I should head to sleep soon. Text, Bakugo, hey. This don't make any damn sense. Why ain't anybody speaking up? Bakugo? Melissa Shield. You met her in the courtyard, remember? You should know her. I mean, she's in your class, dude. Ugh. What a load of bull. I can't let it end like this. I'm gonna try and find someone who knows about what's going on with Kamoshida during break tomorrow. Just, you watch. I ain't giving up. In middle of class, phone vibrating at a text from Bakugo. So about witnesses, I was wondering if we could get something out of Shield Izuku, since she's with Kamoshida. Bakugo? No, that ain't why. Just hear me out. You know how we didn't get a thing out of the volleyball team? I figured it'd be a good idea to talk to someone who knows them. Takamiki's BFFs with a starter, a girl named Suzuki. I tried to talk to that girl during break, but I got nothing. That's why we should have Takamiki talk to her. Then again, I guess it'll be hard getting her to help us. Sorry, let me see what else I can come up with. In the courtyard, Melissa, shouldn't you be heading to volleyball? Shiho, Melissa, that bruise above your eye, is that from practice too? Shiho, why yeah. Melissa, are you sure you're not pushing yourself too hard? Shiho, I'm okay. Volleyball's the only thing I can do right. Melissa's phone suddenly rang, an incoming call. Shiho, shouldn't you take that? Melissa, it's probably just my part-time job, I think. Shiho, I should get going. Melissa? Shiho? Are you sure you're okay? Shiho? Shiho leaves. Melissa phone continues to ring. Melissa? Today won't work. I'm not feeling so good. Sorry, bye. On the way home. Melissa? Will you please give it a rest? I told you. I'm not feeling up to it. Melissa? Wait, what? That's not what you promised. And you call yourself a teacher? This has nothing to do with Shiho. The person on the other end abruptly hangs up. Shiho's starting position. Izuku walked over to her and Melissa took a few steps backwards. Melissa, wait. Were you listening? Izuku. No, I didn't mean to. I'm sorry. Melissa. So how much did you hear? Izuku. Something about a friend. Melissa. Shiho. It's nothing at all. Nothing. She suddenly began running away from him. He catches up with her. Melissa. Stop following me. Just leave me alone. Izuku. Are you okay? Melissa. Why do you keep worrying about me? Sob. Izuku. Let's go somewhere safe. At a restaurant. Melissa. Don't have anything to talk about with you. It was just an argument. Izuku. With Kamoshida? Melissa? You've heard the rumors, haven't you? About Mr. Kamoshida. Everyone says we're getting it on. But that's so not true. I avoided giving him my number for the longest time. He told me to go to his place after this. You know what it means. If I turn him down, he said, he'd take my friend off as a regular on the team. She started to cry. I've been telling myself this is all for Shiho's sake. I can't take it anymore. I've had enough of this. I hate him. But, still, Shiho's my best friend. She's all I have left at that sorry excuse of a school. Sorry, I shouldn't have asked. It's not your problem. Izuku give her a hug. She suddenly began to cry into him. Izuku. I'm going to make him pay, I promise. At LeBlanc. Sejiro. You're late. Where have you been? Izuku. The train was delayed. Spyro. Don't gimme those lies, by the way. You haven't been hanging around any bad influences, have you? Izuku. I actually made a friend. Sejiro. They've gotta be pretty strange to want to spend time with you. Just make sure you're careful who your friends are, if you don't want them ruining your life. Yawn. Look at the time. Seriously, think about how I feel having to stay up here waiting for you. Hey, I'm leaving. In the future, try not to come back so damn late. Understood? Mr. Ashimaru. So, I assume all of you know about the separation of powers? There are 3 branches in our government. Morgana from Izuku bag. Have you made up your mind? Izuku. Shut up if you get me. Catch. I'm sending you to the pound. Standing male student. Hey, what's that? Mishima. Suzuki. Melissa? Shiho? Mr. Ashimaru. Hey, stay in your seats. Do not step foot outside of this room. Izuki and Melissa ran out of the classroom. Shiho was on the roof. She jumped. Melissa ran to Shiho. Bakugo. Hey, what's going on? We should head to the courtyard too. She was in the ambulance. Melissa looked deviant. The boys looked pissed off. Bakugo, we need to find where Mishima, in a storage room. Mishima, that hurts. Bakugo, why'd you run like that? Huh? Mishima, I didn't run. Bakugo, she jumped and tried to kill herself. Mishima, leave me alone. Izuku, just tell us. Mishima, she was called out by Mr. Kamashita. Mishima, I was called by him a number of times too, to the teacher's room. It wasn't just me or Suzuki either. He'd nominate someone when he was in a bad mood and hit them. Bakugo, so the physical punishment thing was for real. Mishima, but yesterday, he called Suzuki out of the blue. She didn't make any mistakes or anything. Mr. Kamashita seemed really irritated that day, so it must have been worse than usual. Izuki and Bakugo ran off to Kamashita office. They kicked down the door. Bakugo punched the shit out of him. Bakugo, you bitch, how could you? Kamashita with a smirk on his face, you're going on and on about things you have no proof of. Basically, you're simply making these claims because you can't be a regular on the team, right? Just received a call from the hospital. Suzu's in a coma and her chances of recovery are slim. How would someone like that make a statement? There's no chance of her getting better, I hear. The poor girl. Bakugo, you shut your mouth, you son of a bitch. He tried to swing at him but Izuku hold him back. Kazumashita. Oh, you're stopping him? What a surprise. There's no need to hold back. Why not? Attack me? You can't. Ha ha ha. But of course you can't. Everyone present right now will be expelled. I'm reporting all of you at the next board meeting who would seriously consider. What scum, like you say? You threatened me too, Mishima, so you're just as responsible, too. Think you didn't know why I kept someone as talentless as you on the team? You act like you're a victim, but you leaked his criminal records, didn't you? It's all over the internet, correct? How terrible. Izuku, you bitch. Mishima, he told me to do it. I had no choice. Kamashita begins laughing sickeningly. Now are we finished here? You're all expelled. You're done for. Your futures are mine to take. Now get out of my sight. Izuku, just wait. The courtyard. Just by their body movements they was going to castle to end him. Melissa, is it true that you're getting expelled? Everyone's talking about it. Bakugo, that asshole's at it again. So you came all this way to tell us that? If you're going to deal with Kamashita, let me in on it too, Melissa. I can't just sit back and do nothing after what happened to Shiho. Bakugo, this has nothing to do with you. Don't butt your head into this, Melissa. But it does. Shiho's my. Bakugo, I said don't get in our way. In an alley near the school. Izuku, you guys ready? Melissa, peek on them, they really are going to do something. Melissa, they're doing something on their phone? A name? School? Melissa? Huh. They get transferred into the other world. Bakugo, alright, time to bust on through. Melissa, what is this? Bakugo, S-Shield? Melissa, that voice? Bakugo, and are you Midoriya-kun? Bakugo, WH, well why are you here? Melissa, how should I know? Melissa, what's going on? Hey, where are we? Isn't this the school? Morgana, I see. Perhaps she was dragged in because of that app thing. If multiple people can enter with the person who uses it, it stands to reason it'll pull anyone nearby. Bakugo, for real? Melissa, wait. So this is related to Kamashita. Bakugo, anyways, you gotta leave. Melissa? No. Melissa, you better explain what's going on. I won't leave until you do. Izuku, looks like we gotta force her. But how are we supposed to do that? Bakugo, just take her back to where we came in. That's how it worked last time, right? Oh, yeah. Can you lend me a hand? We'll explain after everything's over. Bakugo, send it her back. Bakugo, we'd better be careful from now on when we use that app. Morgana, you should have checked the tools you used. Why do I, the one who was just watching, know more about it than you two? Bakugo, shut up. Geez, Shield found out right when we were starting off. We got a deal with this fast. They went through the castle, and they was fight shadows on their way outside of the castle. Melissa, this is that place from earlier. What's up with this app? I just said the words Sakamoto said, and I ended up castle soldier, princess, castle soldier, princess. They take Melissa back inside. Bakugo, aren't there even more shadows here than before? Bakugo, just getting this far's been a real pain in my ass. Morgana, wait a minute. Did you hear that? Izuki? Morgana, I think I heard someone crying. Melissa voice, gasp. Morgana, it's coming from over there. Melissa is tie up on a X-cross. Shadow Kamashita. So, this is the intruder. Melissa? Kamashita? Shadow Kamashita. I can't believe you mistook my Melissa for someone like her. Are you afraid? Right to another Melissa, but this one have a bikini and cat ears. Melissa? What is that outfit? Have you lost your mind? Shadow Kamashita. I do as I please here. After all, this is my castle, the world of my desires. Melissa. What the? Wait. Is this some red light district? Shadow Kamashita. In this world, he grabs Melissa face. I'm free to do anything I want. The boys kick down the door. Shadow Kamashita. He turns to the three you again. Izuki, Melissa, yeah you guys. Shadow Kamashita. Just when I was about to start enjoying myself. Bakugo, I knew I've hated your damn pervy face. Look at Melissa. Shadow Kamashita. Just sit back and enjoy the dismantlement show. Melissa, you're crazy. Let me go. Shadow Kamishita. Or maybe I'll start with her clothes. Other Melissa. Giggle, you're such a perv. Bakugo, you really pissing Mr. off. Izuku. You're no king. You're just a perv. Melissa, is this my punishment for what happened to Shiho? Melissa? Shiho? I'm so sorry. Izuki, don't give up. Melissa? Huh. You're right. Letting this piece of shit toy with me. What was I thinking? Shadow Kamashita. It's like I always say, slaves should just behave. And Melissa? Shut up. I've had enough of this. You've pissed me off, you son of a bitch. It's taken far too long. Melissa? Tell me, who is going to avenge her if you don't? Forgiving him was never the option. Such is the scream of the other you that dwells within. I am thou art I. We can finally forge a contract. Melissa, I hear you. Carmen. Melissa, you're right. No more holding back. Carmen, there you go. Nothing can be solved by restraining yourself. There you go. Nothing can be solved by restraining yourself. Understand? Then I'll gladly lend you my strength. She broke off the cuffs and then rip off the mask. Melissa kicks the guard sword into the air, then jumps up and catches it, and slices clean through her doppelganger. Melissa, you know what? I'm not some cheap girl you can toy with. You scumbag. Kamashita looked like he just shit his pants. Shadow Kamashita, bitch. Melissa, you stole everything from Shiho. You destroyed her. Now it's your turn. I will rob you of everything. The Golden Knights. How dare you? Enough of your insolence. Transform. Melissa. Let's go. Carmen. They beat the holy shit out of him. Shadow Kamashita. Oh shit. Kamashita runs away. Melissa. Wait. Bakugo. Why'd you come here, man? And more importantly, how? Morgana. Hey, is that how you speak to a woman? Are you alright, Lady Melissa? Melissa? Lady Melissa? Wait. What is this thing? Is it alive? How can it talk? And where in the world are we? Morgana. Jay, just calm down. Everything's going to be okay. Don't worry. Melissa. Why am I dressed like this? When did I what's with this? Izuki. Let go. They explain everything. Bakugo. And that's all of it. Melissa. Morgana, right? I really am talking to a cat. This feels so strange. Oh, sorry. You're not a cat, right? Morgana. It's only natural that you're confused. Demanding that you understand all of this right after what you went through is asking too much. Melissa, honestly, I still can't believe what happened. And that power, my persona. Morgana, it's the will of your rebellion, Lady Melissa. With it, you'll be able to fight in that other world, Melissa. So if what you told me is true, we can make Kamashita have a change of heart, right? Is it really possible? Can we actually force him to confess his crimes? Bakugo, the volleyball teams keep quiet about this, while teachers and parents turn a blind eye. If guys like us try and complain, they're just gonna shoot us down. Going all in on this plan is the only choice we got. Melissa, then let me help too. I want to make him pay for what happened to Shiho. He just keeps going like nothing happened, even after what he did to her. I'll never forgive him. Bakugo, wait, did you just say, let me help? You mean, you want us to take you along? Melissa, don't act like I'm going to drag you down. Weren't you watching? I can fight too. Bakugo, hey, what should we do? Izuku, I think we should let her. Her persona is powerful and she has the drive and will to help us. Morgana, agree as well. We are lacking in manpower, after all. Don't worry, I'll protect her. Izuku, so, it's decided. Melissa, even if you said, no, I'd just go in alone. Bakugo, oh right, she can go by herself? I guess it'd be more dangerous turning her down. RGH, fine. Melissa. Then it's decided. Well, I hope we get along. I'm going to make Kamashita atone for what he did, not just for Shiho's sake, but for everything he's done. I won't let any more people suffer because of him. I'll do whatever it takes. Bakugo? That's the spirit? Melissa, hey, give me your number and chat ID, and I'll be counting on you. Then, same goes for you, Morgana. At the LeBlanc, Sajuro, the store's still open. Go upstairs. They went upstairs. Morgana. Sigh, that was an eventful day. Sujiro, phew, that's it for today. Izuku lays down on the couch. Sujiro, oh, that customer just now? She's the head doctor over at that clinic down the street. Rumor has it she gives pretty crappy examinations and sells some weird homemade medicines. On top of that, at least. That's what I've heard. I haven't been there myself. They should really just leave her alone. It's not like she's getting in the way of their lives. Sujiro, well, I've gotta get home and start making dinner. Morgana, what is this place? Is this some kind of abandoned house? Sujiro, hey, are you? Sujiro, I was wondering why I heard meowing. What did you bring it here for? Izuku, I'd like to explain, but it's complicated. Sujiro, not my problem. Look, this place is a restaurant. Animals are a no-go, though I guess. You might stay on good behavior if you've got a pet to take care of. Fine. But keep it quiet when we're open for business, and don't let it roam downstairs, or I'll toss it out. Oh, and I'm not gonna take care of it. That's all on you. Morgana, was that the ruler of this place? Izuku, yep, and I'm sure you can imagine that he has no idea about the metaverse. Morgana, he seemed pretty understanding for someone who keeps you cramped up in this dump. Then again, I suppose to normal people I just sound like a meowing cat. Sujiro came up with a small plate for Morgana. Sujiro, seriously, it had to keep calling out in that cute little voice. Make sure you wash that dish. By the way, have you decided on a name? Izuki, yes, its name is Morgana. Sujiro, Morgana? Huh, I was hoping I'd get to name it. He left. Izuku, well, that was nice of him. Morgana, looks like the chief likes me better than you. Izuku, hey, wait, when did you start making fun of me? Morgana, and to be honest, this place is heaven compared to Kamoshida's cells. Remember how you guys asked me before about what I am? To be honest, I don't remember anything about my birth. I think the metaverse's distortions made me lose both my memories and my true form. Izuku, I never thought of it that way. A text from Melissa. Thanks for everything today. You saved me, and I didn't even thank you properly. Izuku texted back. No problem, we're always happy to help. You played a big part in that fight. A text from Melissa? I can't. Anyway, I wanted to let you know at least. See you tomorrow. Izuku, okay then. See you tomorrow. In class the next day you and Melissa get a text from Bakugo. Bakugo, hey, we're meeting up at the hideout after school, right? Melissa, don't text now. We're in class. Bakugo, whoa, you mean you're actually listening to all this crap? Melissa, I'm just not a rule breaker like you. Bakugo, I know, right? Anyways, hideout after school? Melissa, of course, we have to talk about what happened yesterday. Mr. Ashimaru, hey, Midoriya. Ashimaru throws a piece of chalk that hits Izuku square in the forehead. Mr. Ashimaru, that's what you get for daydreaming. Kids these days have no respect for their elders. Izuku, sorry sir, on the roof. Bakugo, looks like we're all here. Melissa, finally we can talk about yesterday without being in class. Morgana, hold on. It's still too early for us to head to the palace. Izuku, why's that? Morgana, don't underestimate the dangers of that place. We need to prepare. Izuku, that's a good point. Morgana, that's exactly what I mean when I say don't underestimate it. You'll die if you mess up in there. So again, we need to prepare before we head in. Bakugo, what should we do to prepare? Morgana, I'm glad you asked. First, we'll need to find better equipment for all of you. Melissa, what kind of equipment? Bakugo, you talking about weapons? I know a kick-ass place. Melissa, really? Where is it? Morgana, don't worry. I know just the place. I hope you look forward to it, Lady Melissa. Now, then, Izuki, and I have some business in Yongan. So let's head off for today. They all leave. They bought all of the medicine that they needed. Morgana, and that's all the medicine we need. What now? Text from the GC. Bakugo, you know there's a shop in Shibuya that sells model guns. I'd be glad to take you there if you want. Melissa, hey, I can't make it. Can I trust you guys to check the place out for me? Izuku, we'll take care of it. Next day. Bakugo, okay. Let's get going. The shop's over this way. They follow him to the shop. Bakugo, this is it? Pretty legit, huh? Bakugo, oh yeah. Now that we're here, you know anything about military stuff? I guess worst comes to worst we can just ask the shopkeep what they recommend. Come on. Let's go. They go inside the shop. Bakugo, maybe we should try asking the guy behind the counter. And man, who'd have thunk model guns would shoot real bullets in that palace? Izuku, I thought they were just props. Now it makes sense. Surly manager, you know what you want yet? Izuku, do you have any recommendations? Surly manager, dunno. Just buy whatever looks interesting to you. Izuku, okay. Surly manager, fine. What I want? An automatic? A revolver? Izuku. An automatic sounds great. Surly man, listen, this here's an enthusiast shop. My regulars'll be mad if I let a casual like you hang around. Izuku. I'm sorry, surly manager anyways. You shoulda said before you tour enthusiasts. I'm always up for helpin' fresh faces. Some precautions first though. Don't go round pointing 'em at other people. Keep 'em in a bag or something if you're outside. Oh, and don't let the fuzz catch wind of you having 'em. I don't need them comin' around here. Izuku. Yes sir, we understand surly manager. How about that? Me too. Now if you look close, you'll be able to tell these here models. Real guns feel different. Maybe someday I'll show you the real good stuff though if you got the guts for it of course. But for now, you get the beginner selection. Just sit tight, I'll bring 'em out. Izuku. Okay, thank you. They got the stuff, and then they went their separate ways. Izuku went back to LeBlanc. Sejiro, sheesh, what a pain. Whoa, what do you want? If you're bored, go wash some dishes or something. Izuku. I'll get to that, I promise. Sejiro, as long as I'm here, the world leaves me be. No annoyances or troublesome people to deal with. It'd like my own personal hideaway. I'd be kinda screwed if I lost it. But I guess you would be too. So you better at least try and be useful around here. Anyway, I'm leaving now. Don't cause any trouble. Izuku nods and starts to do the dishes. Before he went to bed he get a text from Melissa. He read the text. Melissa? So, I went to see Shiho in the hospital. Izuku responded. How is she doing? Melissa, her condition is stable. They don't know when she'll regain consciousness though. Izuku responded. Damn, what are we supposed to do now? Melissa? Yeah, she'll get better. I know it. I just need to believe in her. But I'll never forgive Kamashita. He's going to pay for what he did, no matter what. Izuku responded. That's a great attitude. And yeah, I can't stand him. I never want to see him again. Morgana, we are just about ready to go to the palace. We just need to assemble some infiltration tools. Clean off that desk back there so we can use it. Izuku cleaned up the desk. Morgana, great. Now you can make things whenever you want. Izuku makes a lockpick. Morgana, we should be ready now. We're heading into the palace tomorrow. Let's get some sleep. Izuku, alright, good night. He falls asleep. Kamashita, good morning. Come on, hurry up and get to class. Kamashita, good morning. Give Izuku that look. Izuku just glares at his teacher. Good morning, Kamashita. That admirable behavior won't do you any good once you're expelled. Izuku, yeah sure. Whatever. In class, the GC, Bakugo. So I saw Kamashita at the school gate this morning. Bakugo, he was just standing there looking at me with the shit-eating grin on his face. Izuku, he's so damn annoying. Bakugo, honestly, seeing that got me even more fired up about this. Izuku, same here. Let's steal his goddamn treasure. After school on the roof. Morgana, I hope you all understand that our time limit is May 2nd. Melissa, we basically just have to go to that castle and steal the treasure from Kamashita, right? Morgana, exactly. That palace is related to how Kamashita views the school. Well, in other words, it's the castle of his heart. Bakugo, but wait. What even is a treasure? I want to know that before we do anything. Morgana, it's the physical form of the palace ruler's distorted desires. If we steal it, he'll have a change of heart. Melissa, and where can we find it? Morgana, it's a different location in each palace, but it's always somewhere safe, in a place where the palace ruler feels a strong sense of security. Bakugo, eh? I think I get it now. We just gotta find the treasure, yeah? Morgana, that's exactly right. It may be difficult to find it, but we need to be extra careful and steal it back before an alarm is triggered. That's how you can change his heart. They have a little montage going through the castle beating shadows, and Izuku collects some persona until they see an odd corridor. Izuku stops in his tracks. What's this place? Axes is swinging. Bakugo, how are you going to get across without get chop up? Morgana, I didn't think it would be that easy. We'll probably need some kind of key for it. Short story. They got the key and they went to the treasure. Bakugo, whoa, what is this place? Holy shit, that treasure thing's gotta be in here. That a room full with gold. Izuku, whoa. There's gold everywhere. Melissa, hey, what is this? It's floating in the air. Morgana, that's the treasure. We finally found it. Morgana, just hold on a second. I was planning on telling you more once we made it this far. Simply finding the treasure isn't enough. We'll need to make it materialize before we can steal it. Izuku, and how are we gonna do that? Morgana, we warn them. Tell them, we're going to steal your heart. Bakugo, so we're gonna send a calling card. That's totally what a phantom thief would do. Morgana, once we do that, the treasure will appear for certain. Think. Izuku, Alright, let's do it, Morgana. That's the spirit. Once we send out the calling card, there will be no turning back. Izuku, I'm sure of it, we can do this. Later on that day, Izuku will make the calling card. Later on that day, Izuku will make the calling card. Izuku, it's done. Morgana, so tomorrow we need to make sure he read it. Izuku, right, how are we gonna do that? Morgana, I have an idea. Next day, all in school, the most of the students were around the bulletin board and it was multiple cards. Izuku, looks like it worked. Kamoshida, who's responsible for this? Did you do this, or was it you? Was it you too? The boys look at him. He turned to them. Kamoshida, you little sh*ts. Izuki, what if it was? He clenched his fists. Kamoshida, I swear I'm gonna find who's responsible for this. I'll make sure everyone regrets this. Kamoshida, what garbage, eh? It's not a problem, you'll be expelled soon enough anyway. Izuku just gave him a cold glare. Shadow Kamoshida, come, steal it if you can. Izuku, oh, we will. Outside of the castle, Morgana, we only got one chance at this, are you guys ready? Izuku and the others nodded. They went through the castle, and the was back in the treasure room. Izuku, here we go. Morgana, ah yeah, the treasure has appeared. It was a huge crown. Izuku, holy shit, that is not what I was expecting. Bakugo, man, it's huge. Melissa, how are we gonna carry that out? Morgan, I started to spark. Izuku, Morgana? He started to hug onto the treasure. Izuku, Morgana, what are you doing? Morgana, meow, the others started whispering. Bakugo, what the hell is he doing? Morgana, Ru. Izuki, you got the water bottle, Melissa. Melissa? Yeah, I do. She handed Izuku the water bottle. He sprayed water on Morgana, bad kitty. He quickly let go of the treasure. Morgana, meow. Hey, Bakugo, alright. That's enough, you stupid cat. Morgana. Oh, yeah. Forgive me for displaying such an insolent sight in front of a lady. Melissa, you were completely out of character too. What was that about? Morgana. When I saw the treasure, I got so excited, and couldn't control myself. Anyway, you guys need to carry it. Izuku. Right, they picked up the treasure. Melissa, it's heavy. Izuku. Yeah, no kidding. Morgana, to think it'd go so well. I've even found 3 persona users in the process. My judgment was correct. I made the right choice in making a deal with you. They was about to leave until mischievous voice. Go, let's go. Kamoshida. The group looked around. Melissa. Who said that? Shadow Kamoshida spiked the volleyball at the crown. Bakugo caught the volleyball. Bakugo. What the? He was able to pull the crowd to him. Shadow Kamoshida. Won't let anyone take this. Izuku. Crap, he found us. Shadow Kamoshida. This proves that I am the king of this castle. It is the core of this world. Bakugo smirked. Bakugo? Yo, pervert, were you waiting to ambush us? I just made it easier to find you. I'll dispose of you myself. Right here, right now. Bakugo? That's our line, you? Sexually harass in D-bag. What a selfish misunderstanding. Bakugo, what's that supposed to mean? Melissa. How is it a misunderstanding? You were doing things that you kept in secret from others. Shadow Kamoshida chuckled. Shadow Kamoshida. The people around me were the ones who kept it secret. Adults who want to share in my accomplishments. Students who have the drive to become winners. They willingly protect me so that we all may profit from it. Izuki. I'm tired of hearing you talk. Shadow Kamoshida. Chuckle Shadow Kamoshida. Shadow Kamoshida. That's right. I'm not like you. Shadow Kamoshida. Lamb a demon who rules this world. Bakugo. What the hell? Shadow Kamoshida transform. Shadow Kamoshida. Ha ha ha. Jayahaha. Izuku. What the hell is that? King Kamoshida. I'm allowed to do whatever the hell I want. They started fight Shadows Kamoshida. After a long fight they finally managed to get him low on health. Izuki. Let take the crown. Bakugo and Melissa nodded in agreement. Morgana, I see, in that case. Time for plan B. Bakugo. Plan B. Morgana. Look over at that terrace. While the others are drawing Kamoshida's attention, have someone go there. Let's steal the treasure without him noticing. Melissa. Good idea. Morgana. I will go. Izuku. Be careful. Bakugo. He grabbed Morgana. Paul Morgana looked at him. Bakugo. Let me go it personally. Morgana. He nodded his head. Bakugo went to the terrace. Kamoshida attacks 2 times faster, and more than before. Izuku and Melissa were struggling to keep up. Shadow Kamoshida. I knew it. They're missing. Where'd they go? Bakugo. Took you too long to notice, moron. Shadow Kamoshida. You. Bakugo kicked the crown off of Kamoshida's head. Shadow Kamoshida. No. My precious. Morgana. Good. Kamoshida's shaken up. Melissa. I think we can do this. Morgana. we should try the all-out attacks. Melissa. Got it. They did a all-out attack. Kamoshida was at his lowest health. One big attack from Izuki. They beat him. Kamoshida was defeated. Kamoshida does a sick diving somersault to grab the crown, try to jump out of the castle. Kamoshida. I'm not done. Melissa. What's wrong? Not running away? Why don't you run? Aren't you a great athlete? Kamoshida gritted his teeth. Shadow Kamoshida. It's always been like this. All those goddamn hyenas forcing their expectations on me. Izuku, you've just lost. There's no point in going on. Shadow Kamoshida. I'm doing this all for them. What's wrong about demanding a reward for that? Melissa? Scared? Right now, you're seeing the same view that Shiho did. I'm sure she was scared too. Except she had no choice but to jump. What will you do? Will you jump? Or, would you rather die here? She summons her persona. Kamoshida froze. Morgana, do you want to finish him off? It's your call. Shadow Kamoshida. No. Please wait. I beg you. Just forgive me. Everyone was shocked that he was suddenly begging. Melissa? Shut up. I bet everyone told you the same. Shadow Kamoshida. No. I'm being serious. Melissa. But you took everything from them. She sent a fireball to him. Kamoshida. Shriek. She missed on purpose. Shadow Kamoshida. He looked at the fireball that missed. Shadow Kamoshida. Accept defeat. You want this? Take it. Melissa. What? Shadow Kamoshida. Go ahead and finish me off. You do that, and my real self will go down. 2. You have that right since you've won. Melissa. She was about to attack him before she can Bakugo grab her hand. Melissa. She looked at Bakugo. Bakugo, if his mind shuts down, he can't admit his crimes. Shadow Kamoshida. I've lost. You're through when you lose. Melissa. I let you go, but I won't forgive you. Shadow Kamoshida. Alright, I will leave now and return to my real self. Melissa. You better. Shadow Kamoshida. I'll make certain that Izuku. Wait. Shaking. Morgana. Hey. Just so you know, we don't have time to waste. This place is about to collapse. Everyone was shocked. Bakugo, run. They all start running to the exit. Melissa. We're gonna die. We're so gonna die. Morgana, back in cat form, jumps atop Melissa's head. Bakugo. No fair, you jerk. They finally made it out. Melissa. Pant, that sucked. Everyone was panting on the ground. Bakugo. Look at the nav. Metaverse Navigator. The destination has been deleted. Morgana. What about the treasure? Melissa. It must have collapsed along with the place. Bakugo hold at the treasure aka Olympic medal. Talking about this. Melissa. So you were able to get it? Bakugo. Yeah. Izuku. Morgana. What do we do now? Morgana. We wait for him to confess. Melissa. Will he actually confess? Morgana. Yes. Izuku. Are you sure? Morgana. Trust me. For the next couple of days they lay low and waited until he confessed. A school morning assembly was held. Principal. Let's begin the school-wide morning assembly. Everyone got quiet. Principal. As you all know, a tragic event took place the other day. Thankfully we have been informed that she has pulled through, but it will take time until she recovers. Everyone here has a bright future ahead. I implore that you rethink the importance of life and Principal. Mr. Kamoshida. What's the Kamoshida? I have been reborn. That is why I will confess everything to you all. I have repeatedly done things that were unbecoming of a teacher, verbally abusing students, physically abusing my team, and sexually harassing female students. I am the reason why Shiho Suzuki tried to kill herself. Thought of this school as my own castle. There were even students that I sentenced to expulsion simply because I didn't like them. I will of course rescind those. I am truly sorry for putting innocent youths through such horrible acts. I am an arrogant, shallow, and shameful person. No, I'm worse than that. Kamoshida. I will take responsibility and kill myself for it. Principal. Mr. Kamoshida. That is enough. Melissa. Don't run, you bastard. Shiho's still alive even after all the things that made her want to die. You have no right to run from this. You're right, Kamoshida. You're absolutely right. I should be punished under the law and atone for my crimes. I did horrible things to Shield-san as well. In return for giving Suzui-san a position on the team, I tried to force her into having relations. Someone, please call the police. Principal. Wait a second. Mr. Kamoshida. One of the teachers. Assembly is over. Students started to get up and walk out. Izuku. He confessed everything. Melissa. His heart really did change. Izuki. So what? Exit. Mishima. Shield-san. I'm sorry. Melissa. Huh. Mishima. We all knew. But we pretended we didn't. We even badmouthed her behind her back. Melissa. No, it's okay. The same goes for me too, besides, that's all in the past now. Teacher in a suit. Hey, you there, return to class at once. Mishima, I can't apologize enough for what I did to you. I swear I'll make it up to you someday. Melissa? No, don't worry about it, seriously. Bakugo, looks like Kamoshida ain't the only one that had a change of heart. Izuku, this is a win, for sure. Melissa, my thing doesn't really matter. We made Kamoshida apologize about Shiho. That's more than enough for me. Bakugo, you should hurry and tell her about it then. Melissa? Yeah, they went to class and school for the day went on as normal on the roof. Bakugo, totally freaked out. He really did have a change of heart. Izuku, yeah. He went from saying he was the king of the school to admitting he was the scum of the earth. Bakugo, and we were lucky his mind didn't get messed up either. This was an A+ job. Izuku, we should celebrate this. Bakugo, hey, that works for me. Izuku, we should go to the diner. Melissa, do you have to be so loud? Bakugo, don't worry about it. So, how'd it go? With Shiho, I mean, Melissa. She's regained consciousness. Everyone was shocked at the news. Izuku, really? Melissa, it was only for a little bit. But I got to talk to her. I was able to tell her that Kamoshida admitted to what he did. Shiho, she told me she was sorry. Looks like she found out that I was flirting with Kamoshida for her sake. And here I was, wanting to apologize to her. Izuku, wow. So she found out. Morgana, Kamoshida's at fault for all this. Bakugo, the guy turned himself into the police too. The hell is wrong with him? Melissa, I know, Shiho's mom is thinking of transferring her to another school after she recovers. The whole sexual harassment and attempted suicide. People will label her after that. Sounded like Shiho had the same idea too. Izuku, what? But she did nothing wrong. Bakugo, oh yeah, tomorrow we are going out to eat to celebrate our win. Izuku, right? We should definitely do that. Melissa, I'm not paying though. Izuku, and Bakugo, we know. At the restaurant they order food and start eating. Bakugo, so good. Morgana, no wonder Lady Melissa chose this place. Bakugo, it's expensive as hell though. Melissa, of course it's good. This is a famous hotel after all. Oh yeah, I heard that the police are coming to interview some people at school. Bakugo, our names are gonna come up for sure. Puri's spreading all sorts of rumors about us and Kamoshida, but we got him pumped up. I keep hearing stuff like, the Phantom thieves really stole his heart. I think most people don't believe it, but some of them actually seem grateful. Izuku, really? People are saying we changed Kamoshida's heart? Bakugo, look at this. It's an app about the Phantom thieves. Izuku, what? People made an app? Melissa, well done, Phantom thieves. Now I can keep going too. Thank you for giving us hope. Bakugo, damn, the Phantom thieves are getting popular. Melissa, I was just desperate to deal with my own problems. But seeing people saying all this feels strange. Bakugo, yeah. Hey, what do we do now? Izuku, we change more hearts. There's a lot of evil people in this world. Bakugo, oh crap, you're totally right. We only got an hour to eat. Izuku, it's fine. Let's just enjoy our victory today. Morgana, can one of you guys please pass me some fish? Bakugo, hell no cat. Not getting you anything. Morgana growls while pouting. Izuku give him a piece of fish. Morgana happily eats it. They kill every food on the table. Izuku burps loudly. Bakugo, why yeah, this is a victory, for all of us. Izuku, I'm so full. Melissa, good job, you guys. How about one last dish to cleanse your palates? I recommend the seasonal tart. The grapefruit has both alluring sweetness and a tangy sourness. Bakugo, stop. I don't want to hear about sour stuff. Bathroom. Burp, this isn't good. I gotta go to the Izuku, maybe you ate too much. Going back to the table. Bakugo, totally panicked when I saw the closed for cleaning sign at the bathrooms. Izuku and Melissa start laughing. Melissa, you were talking big about eating until you puked. But you really did puke, are you? Some kind of moron. Izuku, he does kinda act like a moron. A guard bump into Bakugo. Bakugo, watch where you're going. Distinguished man. There's still no update on the case? Haughty subordinate, excuse me, but why are you so involved? It's not something you should be concerned with. Distinguished man, I don't care about your opinion, you incompetent buffoon. When I say pick up the pace, you do it. Bakugo, hey, you're cutting in line. The man stops and turns around. Haughty subordinate, what do you want? Bakugo, who are you calling incompetent? Bakugo steps forward and is shoved by the man. Bakugo, what? The men step into the elevator. The group tries to listen to their conversation inside the elevator. Bakugo, the hell was with that bossy guy? Melissa, no clue, but they seemed pretty sketchy. Bakugo, yeah, but that dick really pissed me off. He wasn't even hidden the fact that he looks down on everyone. I just can't forgive shitty adults like that. Izuku, that man's voice. Izuku, I swear I've heard it somewhere before. Bakugo, what's wrong? Izuku, don't worry about it. Back at the table. Bakugo, these selfish shitheads, who just look down on everyone else. I was just wondering if we'd be able to change those kinds of people too. Melissa, you mean, you want to continue as the Phantom Thieves? Bakugo, I've been thinking, we put a lot of work into changing Kamoshida's heart, but nobody believes in the Phantom Thieves. Plus, those guys who had no other choice but to just deal with it are thanking us of all people. Melissa, it does feel nice to get thanked, huh? Izuki, there are lots of victims people who could have their hearts changed. Everyone nodded in agreement. Melissa, well, now that the name's set, who's our next target? There are tons of rotten adults, and all. Why not just stick to targeting big names? Bakugo, yeah, something along those lines. If we go after some bigwig, it's gotta get on the news, right? Don't you think more people would believe in us if we did that? Morgana, that's not a bad idea for you? Bakugo, Izuku, but who should we go after now? Bakugo, let's narrow it down to someone we can all agree on then. Oh no, our time for the buffet ran out. Melissa, I guess we'll just have to talk more tomorrow. Fast forward to the interrogation room. See, another world in which people's distorted cognitions take shape, stealing treasure to change hearts? And on top of that, a talking cat told you all this? See, honestly speaking, that all sounds absurd. It's hard to believe that this is even worth listening to. Still, it can't be considered nonsense when parts of it align with Kamoshida's confession. The same goes for the testimonies of the officers who arrested you, but so be it. At any rate, you mentioned something more important. These two other accomplices, besides this talking cat thing that appeared in your story. From what you've been telling me, they're students at the same school, aren't they? Izuku nodded. See, very well. I'll leave it at that. Let's continue on. There are many more events that I must inquire on. Lies and false accounts are eventually exposed. The next to receive a calling card was this individual. C put a picture down of a man. C, a master of Japanese arts. Ichirayase Madarame. It's even more incomprehensible than Kamoshida as to why this man was targeted. Where did you come to know him? And how did you learn of his crimes when you weren't a victim of them? Start by telling me what you all schemed back in time.